system and outline measures implemented to ensure the system is user-friendly, efficient, transparent, and accurate. And 2, to provide details on the system in place by the Public Service Commission for absorbing interns into government ministries and state agencies upon completion of the internships, stating whether there is a traceability mechanism to prioritize interns for future employment opportunities in public service. Number 3, explain the criteria used for the recruitment of interns and state whether past recruitment processes reflect the diversity of Kenya's communities in accordance with Articles 10 and 232 of the Constitution, providing a breakdown of the distribution of internship opportunities by county. And number 4, justify the exclusion of diploma and certificate holders from eligibility for internships in public service. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology regarding efforts to combat the proliferation of counterfeit funds and digital products in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the committee should, 1, find out the specific actions taken by the Communication Authority of Kenya, including measures initiated in collaboration with other regulatory bodies to prevent the entry and sale of counterfeit funds and digital products, explaining why previous measures have not been effective. Second, describe how the Kenya Bureau of Standards ensures accountability in regulating substandard devices and outline the penalties imposed on businesses found selling counterfeit products, providing data on cases that led to legal action in 2023-24. Third, Honorable Speaker, explain how the Anti-Counterfeit Authority enforces laws to protect measures from counterfeit digital products and detail the metrics used to measure their effectiveness. 4, Honorable Speaker, disclose the measures in place to hold telecom companies and retailers accountable for ensuring the authenticity of phones and devices sold in Kenya and explain the repercussions for non-compliance. 5th, provide details on how customer complaints about counterfeit products are handled, including CAP's response times and state systemic changes implemented based on these complaints. And finally, Honorable Speaker, state ways in which Communication Authority of Kenya has engaged the public to gather feedback on counterfeit products. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Beth Siengo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for accepting that request for a statement on behalf of Senator Beth Siengo, MP. Honorable Speaker, this is a request for a statement on the security of female taxi drivers following the murder of Ms. Victoria Mumbwa. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations concerning the security and safety of female taxi drivers in Mombasa County, particularly following the tragic murder of Ms. Veronica Mumbwa, a Mombasa-based taxi driver whose body was found dumped in Maimahiu on 4th October 2024 after she went missing on Friday the 27th, 2024. In the statement, the committee should, 1, report on the progress of investigations into the murder of Ms. Veronica Mumbwa, including any arrests or leads, and outline the assistance provided to her family during this difficult time. 2, outline the current security measures in place to protect taxi drivers, particularly female drivers across the country, such as coordination between the National Police Service and taxi service providers, including online taxi operators, to enhance safety and prevent such tragic incidents in the future. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, recommend additional steps to improve the security and safety of taxi drivers, including the possibility of installing panic buttons in all taxis and online taxi apps, enhanced vetting of clients, and increased surveillance in high-risk areas, with particular emphasis on protecting women working in the industry. Senator Beth Siengo, MP. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Senator for Kajiado County, Senator Seki. That statement is dropped. Senator Tabitha Keroche. That statement is dropped. Senator Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare regarding the current regulations governing the Football Kenya Federation and their alignment with the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is public knowledge that sports is a devolved function and generally acknowledged that football is no longer a men's-only game. The FKF is also mandated to advance the development of football across the country. It is noteworthy that FKF is due to hold its elections in December 2024, thereby necessitating an urgent response to this request. In the statement, the committee should, 1, assess whether the Football Kenya Federation Constitution, especially the regulations governing elections and office holding, comply with Article 81B of the Constitution, which requires that no more than 2/3 of members of elective and appointive bodies be of the same gender, and examine the application of this principle in both appointive and elective positions within FKF. 2, inquire into the extent to which FKF leverages devolved units in promoting football at the county levels and identify any barriers to their inclusion, and determine what legal or administrative measures could be adopted to ensure full county level participation in future management and development of the sport from early stages. 3, examine the composition of the FKF Assembly, the National Executive Committee, and the Electoral Committee to verify whether they align with the requirements of Article 81B of the Constitution and whether FKF promotes gender equity in sports leadership and decision-making. 4, investigate existing FKF policies and guidelines on investment in women's football with a view to confirming whether the rules ensure equitable financial, structural, and administrative support for women's football in line with gender equality principles. And 5, review the broader legal and policy framework for football governance in Kenya to assess the extent to which county-level football bodies and players, including women, are benefiting from devolved sports structures and FKF regulations. Thank you, Senator Catherine Muma.
Senator Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have 3 statements. Let me start with statement number 1. Request for a statement on importation of rice by Kenya National Trading Corporation, KNTC. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism regarding importation of rice by the Kenya National Trading Corporation, KNTC. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the quantity and price per kilogram of all consignments of rice imported through the Kenya National Trading Corporation from 2020 to date. Number 2, clarify whether KNTC floated competitive tenders for the supply of rice during the aforementioned period, and if so, disclose the companies that applied for the tenders and their respective bid amounts. Question number 3, disclose the names of companies that were awarded the contracts for the supply of rice, indicating the respective quantities delivered by the companies so far vis-a-vis what they were contracted to deliver. Number 4, provide a breakdown of all payments made by KNTC to suppliers of rice so far, specifying the respective amounts received by the companies as well as the outstanding balances, and finally, specify timelines for settlement of all outstanding balance. Question number 2, statement number 2, Honorable Speaker, is on distribution of donated fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board, NCPB. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries regarding distribution of donated fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the quantity of all consignment of fertilizers donated to Kenya from 2020 to date, disclosing the respective donors as well as the origin of the consignment. And 2, provide details on how each consignment of donated fertilizers were distributed to farmers across the country and where it was sold to farmers, specify the price. My third statement, Honorable Speaker, is again on importation of fertilizer by National Cereals and Produce Board. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock Fisheries regarding the importation of fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the quantity and price per kilogram of all consignment of fertilizer imported through the National Cereals and Produce Board from the year 2020 to date. Question number 2, clarify whether National Cereals and Produce Board floated competitive tenders for the supply of fertilizer during the aforementioned period and disclose the companies that applied for the tenders and their respective bid amounts. 3, disclose the names of companies that were awarded the contracts for the supply of fertilizer to National Cereals and Produce Board, indicating the quantities delivered so far compared to contracted amounts. Number 4, provide a breakdown of all payments made by National Cereals and Produce Board to the suppliers of fertilizer and specify the amount received by each company and the outstanding balances. And finally, Honorable Speaker, indicate timelines for the settlement of outstanding balances if there are any. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, I will allow comments on those statements for 15 minutes. Senator Cherangei.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I want to thank colleagues who have wrote statement. Let me start with the statement by Senator Katuri
Senator
Murungi.
Fernandi.
Yes.
3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sorry. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, as the presiding officer, you are reverting your own ruling. Anyway, yes. Mr. Speaker, let me say, yes, that is interesting. Mr. Speaker, just 2 comments. 1, I want to support the statement by Senator Katuri Murungi on the issue of Public Service Commission. Mr. Speaker, I don't see need why give interns jobs and then you don't absorb them. Yet you have used government resources. So I want to appeal to government and Public Service Commission that most young people who are given internship in public service, they should be reabsorbed, Mr. Speaker, noting that 5.7 unemployment rate in the Republic is still a challenge. And you know our fertility rate, Mr. Speaker, is doing very well. An average woman in this country gets almost 3.2 children to 4 children. So the fertility rate of this country is very critical, Mr. Speaker. Finally, on the issue of fertilizers, I want to support but agree that we need fertilizers in time, Mr. Speaker. Even us who are maize farmers, we did harvest maize and the price is not very good, Mr. Speaker. They are selling at 2,000 shillings. We want to still to appeal to government to ensure at least we get 4,000 to 5,000 shillings per 50 kg of maize, so that my neighbors like Senator Otsosi Vihiga and Kakamega, where their main staple is ugali, including Senator Sifuna, can have opportunity, Mr. Speaker, because Mr. Speaker, no, he eats ugali, I'm aware because I saw him over lunch. Mr. Speaker, so we need that pricing so that as we protect farmers, Mr. Speaker, we ensure that they have something to do. Finally, on elections of FKF, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I want to support women should be included, but call upon that people who run for elections in federation should be ex-sportsmen and women. These people of having busybodies to run for this election is very unfortunate. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Olekina.
Mr. Speaker, quickly I'd like to comment on two statements. Let me begin with a statement by Senator Kisang on the issue of fake mobile equipment. It's imperative, Mr. Speaker, that when the committee is investigating on this issue, to be able to really have a comprehensive discussion with the Kenya Bureau of Standards, because we are trying to encourage companies to be able to produce locally. So if we have a lot of fake or substandard equipment, especially telecommunication equipment, which are being sold in the market, it hinders our effort as a country to be able to promote local manufacturing. They're also very dangerous because they don't really use all the standards and safety measures that are required for production of telecommunication equipment. They could be very dangerous to your health. They could just explode. So this is a very good statement, which I hope that it will be taken seriously by the Committee on ICT. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to comment briefly on the issue of femicide. It is very sad that at this age, we are still targeting women. And I think the statement which was read on the killing of a taxi driver in Mombasa, we need to be able to stand firmly and to be able to revisit our regulations when it comes to the issue of safety in public vehicles, Mr. Speaker. Our local taxis ought to have cameras inside, because there's really nothing private that you do inside a taxi. It is just for transportation. And I think it's about time, Mr. Speaker, that we encourage the registration of taxi services. You know, before we used to have the Kenya taxi service, before we got all these other new apps that are coming up. So this issue, the only way that we can be able to get away from this belief that this issue of femicide is a systemic gender-based discrimination is for us to put up regulations and laws that protect everyone, regardless of who you are. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to make a comment on the statement by Senator Siengo in regards to the issue of the killing of Madam Mumbua in Mombasa, who was a driver, taxi driver, Mr. Speaker. Very saddening situation whereby as women we engage in different ways of making income, and then our lives become endangered. Further to that, Mr. Speaker, we had just a recent case of the young lady from, I think, Kiambu, by the name Seth Nyakio, who was also murdered. And I believe it is a high time as a country that we just acknowledge and accept that femicide should be declared national disaster, because this trend is still ongoing, this trend is still not shutting down, and it's very sickening and very saddening. I'm just wondering, when we continue killing women, then men will be left with who to continue with this generation. So it's the high time also there be regulations for safety within these vehicles. We've seen in international taxis where we have cameras and other modes of security so that our people are also able to feel safe. Number two, on the statement for Senator Kisang, Mr. Speaker, as a digital ambassador for ICDL, I advocate for digital literacy. And I want to state that as we continue and acknowledging that at this time we are in a digital space, then if we do not ensure, if our institutions like KEBS, among others, do not ensure that the kind of products that are within our market are to the standards that are required in this country, then we will still be killing and moving backwards instead of, progressing, both from the market perspective, whereby we have standard products for our business people, and at the same time the end users, who is us, having commodities that have the standard that is required. So that as we continue advocating for digital literacy, you find that also the gadgets that are in place, that are in use, are with the same standards that gives the quality output. Mr. Speaker, in accounting we say garbage in, garbage out. If we have substandard quality of machines, gadgets, the phones, then the output will not be as per what is expected. I've seen young people nowadays investing in good gadgets so that they can be able to do content creation, which is also giving them an income. So these phones, the standard of all these digital gadgets should be up to standard. And I would want KEBS also, as they give their report, to be able to bring to light how many...
Senator Faki Munyihaji.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia taarifa mbili. Moja ya kifo cha dada Victoria Mumbua ambaye alikuwa na dereva wa taxi kule Mombasa. Mheshimiwa Spika, kifo hichi kilisikitisha wengi sana. Ikikumbukwa kwamba dada huyu alikuwa anafanya kazi yake ya halali, kuendesha taxi ili kukidhi mahitaji yake na mahitaji ya watoto wake wawili. Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati nchi yetu Mheshimiwa Spika inapoingia katika himaya ya biashara ya masaa 24, sisi bado hatujaweza kuhakikishia usalama wale ambao wanasaidia pakubwa kuendesha biashara hiyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, tukizingatia utaona kwamba watu wanaopeleka taxi siku hizo wanapeleka masaa 24 kwa sababu ya biashara ambazo zinafanyika kinyume na yale masaa ya zamani ya biashara. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, serikali lazima itoe hakikisho kuwa usalama wa watu hawa unazingatiwa ili waweze kuendesha biashara zao bila ya matatizo. Mheshimiwa Spika, taarifa ya pili ni ile ya uchaguzi wa FKF. Mheshimiwa Spika, FKF kwa muda mrefu sasa imekuwa ni kama donda sugu katika nchi yetu. Kumeletwa taarifa kadhaa katika bunge hili, tukafanya uchunguzi katika kamati ya leba, lakini mpaka sasa Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo haya hayajaweza kutatuliwa. Kumetengenezwa jopo la kusimamia uchaguzi huu Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini jopo hili limechaguliwa na mwenyekiti ama rais wa FKF anayeondoka. Na rais huyo Mheshimiwa Spika, yeye pia ni mgombea kwa sababu amechukua yule makamu wake wa miaka 8 iliyopita awe sasa ndio rais na yeye awe ni naibu wa rais wa FKF. Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo ni kesi ya mbuzi kupeleka kwa fisi, kwa sababu lazima atachukua hatua za kuhakikisha kwamba kamati yake ama jopo lake ndio limechaguliwa katika kuendesha FKF kwa muda mwingine wa miaka 4. Mheshimiwa Spika, katiba sheria ya Sports Act, sheria ya michezo nchini kwetu Mheshimiwa Spika, inasema kwamba wasimamizi wa vitengo mbalimbali vya michezo watahudumu kwa muda wa miaka 8, yani mihula miwili ya miaka 4 kila mmoja. Huyu Mheshimiwa Spika anataka kujiregeshea muhula mwingine wa 3 na wa 4 na wa 5 na wa 6 kama alivyofanya Rais Putin kule Russia Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ni lazima swala haya yaangaliwe mapema, kwa sababu hatutaki masuala kama haya yarejee katika mahakama yaweze kwenda na kuregesha wakati nchi yetu Mheshimiwa Spika inapoteza katika masuala ya michezo. Mheshimiwa Spika, itakumbukwa kwamba ukigusa tu FKF ni kama kugusa mlima Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu FIFA kule Zurich watakuja mbio na kuweza kutetea FKF hapa nchini. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ni muhimu kwamba wakati huu tunapojipanga kwa kura za FKF, mambo yote ya sheria yamefuatwa ili tuweze kuondoa wale walowezi ambao wameweza kumkamua huyu ng'ombe wa FKF kwa muda mrefu wakati hatuoni matokeo yote katika mpira katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Kesang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to comment on the statement by Honorable Senator Jute on fertilizers. Honorable Speaker, as a farmer, Honorable Speaker, I want to know exactly how many tons of fertilizer were imported by National Cereals and Produce Board, which was my employer at those early 90s, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we want fertilizer to be given out to farmers across the year because there are farmers who grow potatoes, and the season for potatoes is throughout the year. We have coffee, we have tea, so that they don't import just during the maize season, Honorable Speaker. And I say about maize, I want to urge and ask the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Speaker, and Cereals Board to open the depots because already we have started harvesting farmers, and we request that they buy the maize at minimum 4,000 because the cost of production is over 3,000, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the final statement is the one on FKF elections. In the past, especially Athletics Kenya and football, Honorable Speaker, those who are running these organizations, most of them, especially the senior chairs and the presidents, are not former sportsmen or women, Honorable Speaker. And the business is just to mismanage, frustrate our athletes, frustrate our sports people, especially football, Honorable Speaker. When the elections come in, we want to ask the footballers and also athletes to elect those who have the interest at heart, not those who want to continue with the corruption in those particular areas, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rest my case there and ask the CS Sports, who was my former senator, Honorable Speaker, that he ensures that these particular two organizations are streamlined. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to make a brief comment on the statement that has been sought by Senator Beth Siengo. Just a few days ago, Honorable Speaker, I accompanied the Member of Parliament for Kamkunji to the office of the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, and we were discussing the spate of murders across the country. I want to persuade my colleagues that this is a national security situation. It is not just something that can be defined along the lines of gender. Honorable Speaker, because in the past few days we have also seen victims of the male sex also being brutalized and killed in the most inhumane manner. I'm sure all of you have heard the story of Willis Ayeko, the HR manager of Wells Fargo. And there appears to be a problem in the country, Honorable Speaker. In the case of the Kamukunji 3, a mother, Waris Dawood, together with her daughter Amina and nephew Nuseiba, were all killed, Honorable Speaker, and their bodies dismembered and scattered across 4 points, 3 in Nairobi and 1 in Machakos. In fact, some of the body parts were being recovered from South Sea after the bodies had already been brought to Nairobi. And Honorable Speaker, when I went to City Mortuary together with Yusuf, the MP for Kamukunji, I can say without doubt that that is the most inhumane act that I have ever actually had to witness because of the extent of the mutilation of the bodies and the sort of torture that they must have underwent. There's a problem in this country. If a criminal can actually pluck you from the street and move around Nairobi with a dead body on board, more than one dead body, in fact, Honorable Speaker, throw a piece of you in Bahati, throw another one in Parklands, throw another one in South Sea, and throw another one in Machakos, there has to be a problem with the way our security system is organized. What happened to all the Nyumba Kumis we used to have? How come? I asked the Inspector General of Police, what happened to the command center that I saw the former president launching of all the CCTV coverage in Nairobi? How is it possible that people are encouraged to do such things? Where is this place in Senator Ososi's county that you can hide somebody for hours and torture them and cut them down piece by piece, Honorable Speaker? And nobody knows or hears anything, and even when the body is found, people are not arrested immediately. I am happy at least the IG of police assured me that in all these cases they have very serious leads, and true to his word, I can see that they have been arrested in some of those cases. I want to continue to encourage the police that it is their responsibility to protect Kenyans and their property, and these things cannot continue to happen in a country such as ours today. Honorable Speaker, I just take this opportunity once again to say pole to all the families that have been affected, but we cannot continue to live in a country like this. Nobody is safe. Remember, Honorable Speaker, even the MCA from Wajir, up to today has not been found, Honorable Speaker. So let us not sit here thinking that we are immune to these things. Anybody can be plucked from the streets. We are hearing, as I said yesterday, that blogger called Maverick Ouko, she has Aoko. She has not been found up to now, Honorable Speaker. What sort of country is this? This is why it was important, Honorable Speaker, when the matter of the motion that we passed here on the State of the Nation came up, that we get these security agencies to respond to the motion that was passed by this House so that they can assure all our residents and all of us in this country that we are actually safe. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Gloria Oroba.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to add my comment on Senator Beth Siango's statement, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, allow us as women to talk about femicide. Because, Mr. Speaker, femicide is a thing. It is a taxi driver here who is a female. It has been intimate partner violence who are women. All those Airbnb stories, women. Kwaredam, women. So we are not going to ignore it anymore. It is women. Women are being killed. Yes, we are saying there are 1 or 2 men, exceptions, but femicide, Mr. Speaker, is a thing. And you know, we can't keep ignoring women. This is why we don't have a minister of gender. Because anytime we try to put our heads up and say women tunakaliwa, we are being sat on. Someone stands and says it's not an issue of women. It's an issue of women. Tell me how many women have died in the last 6 months. And then you tell me how many men have been kidnapped and killed in the last 6 months. We are here to represent women, Mr. Speaker. And what we want is that femicide be recognized as a national disaster. Because we already have murder being dealt with. But femicide, where women are being targeted, specifically women, Mr. Speaker, that is the problem. We have called on a special program under the Ministry of Interior. But Mr. Speaker, it's like when we speak about women things, people want to stand and say it's not about women, sit down. It's about women, Mr. Speaker. Women are being killed. Mr. President, we are tired. Just do something, give us a gender minister, give us a special program under Ministry of Interior, and our women need to be protected. That is the story here.
Senator Osotsi.
Mr. Speaker, let me make my comment on the statement on internship under the Public Service Commission. I think, Mr. Speaker, this statement is timely because this program of internship is one of the most creative agenda that we have seen from our government, where young people who have graduated from universities are able to take internship opportunities in government, and they are able to learn on job. But the only challenge is that after 2 years, they have nowhere else to go. They are not been able to be absorbed in the same public service. And this is really a waste of time, waste of resources. And I think it's important that we have a policy where these young people will be absorbed in public service on permanent and pensionable terms. Mr. Speaker, let me also comment on the statement by Senator Muma on the Football Kenya Federation. Mr. Speaker, this statement is timely because, as you are aware, we are going to have elections for FKF, but even as we are preparing for election, this election is already rigged because the current office is the one that has appointed the people who are going to conduct this election, the Electoral Commission. And if that is the case, then you expect the results, as Senator Faki has said, to be in favor of the current regime, which has basically failed Kenyans in terms of promotion of football in this country. And Mr. Speaker, as some of the colleagues have said, we need competent people to manage our football. The problem we have in this country is that we have cartels which have now gotten into our sports industry. They are in football, they are in rugby, they are in athletics, they are all over. I think this country has a potential to do well in sports, particularly football. Kenya can become a great footballing nation in this continent. But because we have allowed cartels to thrive in our football, people who have no understanding of football, people who have never played football, are now in charge of our football, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the past, football was doing very well in this country because we only knew of 2 regions which were producing footballers.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also contribute briefly on 3 very critical issues that I hold dearly. Mr. Speaker, I first start with Honorable Madam Muma discussing the issue of our football, and Honorable Sosi has clearly put it out. But my interpretation, Mr. Speaker, is that I don't think the problem with our football is because we are having people who never played football to actually engage in it. The problem with our football is simple, it's money. The football management is corrupt. The people running our football are corrupt. Betting has joined in the cartel, and we are punishing our young people, men and women. I hope this House will take its responsibility to make sure that we clean up this football thing we keep talking about, because it's big money and the players are big. Second issue I want to say is about the matter that happened in Mombasa. The security apparatus in this country leave a lot to be desired. We understand the challenges they face. Mr. Speaker, the most wonderful thing that I've always heard, and if you sit in our committees, you'll hear those officers talk. I want to plead with this House and the National Assembly. We don't give the police officers, if you go to the head of DCI and talk to him, he will shock you. Because the budget they are getting per year is something like 8 billion shillings in totality. The investigating department, the equipment, the data collection, and all the forensic labs and equipment that are supposed to service the DCI, all of them are inept. If you look at the 47 counties, we most probably, Mr. Speaker, only have about 2 forensic entities for the whole republic, and yet every county is supposed to have a forensic office, forensic officers who are supposed to make these investigations successful. Finally, somebody talked about the CCTVs, and I think it was my Secretary General, Honorable Sifuna. Honorable Sifuna, I can tell you today, those CCTVs don't work.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to make 2 quick comments. One is on this issue of the reported number of wanton killings across the country that we've witnessed the last few days. And I agree with those who are calling on the IG to actually up his game and bring the country up to date, Mr. Speaker, on what is really happening in this nation. Because it cannot be business as usual when we wake up each day to news of people who have been picked out of taxis, out of their homes, and they're eventually found to have been murdered. Surely, Mr. Speaker, this country has enough infrastructure and technology advancement, Mr. Speaker, to be able to place criminals at the scene of crime and also follow leads to ensure that those who are perpetuating these heinous crimes, Mr. Speaker, are eventually caught up with, and the country rests easy, knowing that in this country, no matter how long you run and hide, eventually they'll catch up with you. So, job to the IG, Mr. Speaker, and I expect that he will do it this very urgently. Finally, Mr. Speaker, is on this issue of the FKF raised by Senator Catherine Muma. You know, Mr. Speaker, I have only one request, and my request actually, Senator Catherine, is to our judiciary. We have come such a long journey to ensure that we eventually have these elections, that I am pleading almost to the point of begging that our judiciary allows the country to run this course. You know, you understand what is happening in this country. In fact, I have seen football fans, Mr. Speaker, jokingly say that if Vinicius Jr.
was a Kenyan, by now he'd have gotten a court order to stop Rodri from picking up his award from some judge either at Kirinyaga or somewhere. Mr. Speaker, we want our judges to know that much as we respect them, they should also respect other institutions. Once they have made certain decisions, let the matter rest and be that they should not accept every invitation. Therefore, my humble plea is that may this election be conducted and the man or the woman that will be elected to run our football for the next 4 years be granted the opportunity to do so. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ledama, you got a statement to request. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate this. I want to request a statement on the killing of Mr. Edward Cairo by an officer of the Anti-Stock Theft Unit, STU, of the Administration Police Service at Irmolelian sub-location in Narok County. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 53, I rise to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the killing of one Mr. Edward Cairo, a Form 3 student at Larmudiak High School, by Inspector George Rukonga, the officer in charge at the Kiramba Anti-Stock Theft Unit, ASTU, camp at Irmolelian sub-location in Narok County on the 28th of October 2024. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee should report on the circumstances that led to the fatal shooting of Mr. Edward Cairo by Inspector George Rukonga, stating whether the ASTU officer was acting under orders, and if so, provide evidence of the same. Number two, provide a status update on investigations by the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, into the incident, outlining disciplinary actions taken against culpable police officers, and finally, state measures put in place to ensure that the family of the late Mr. Cairo get justice for the killing of their son. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Eddy, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, as you have seen the concern of people in this House with regards to a number of killings that have been going on in the country, especially of women, I wish to rise on point of order, understanding order number 37, and basically beg to give a notice of the following motion, Mr. Speaker, that pursuant to standing order number 37, the Senate do now adjourn to discuss a definite matter of urgent national importance, namely the rising cases of violent murder in the country, mainly targeting young women and girls, the most recent being the murder of 3 young women in Isili on 22nd October 2024, Dahabo Dawood Sahid, Amina Abdi Rashid Dahir, and Nusaiba Abdi Mohamed, and a 23-year-old girl, Mrs. Seth Nyakio, in Thika, Kiambu County on 14th October 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I do ascertain the requisite threshold has been met, and therefore the House will adjourn at 5:30 to discuss this motion. Now, before I call the next order, allow me to make the following communication. Now, honorable senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, students from Starehe Boys Center and Keanda School, who are undertaking a 2 weeks voluntary service scheme in the Senate. Honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will allow the minority leader and the majority leader, both speaking under 1 minute, to extend words of welcome. Minority leader. You can pass it to a former Student, if you are not prepared to do.
Okay, yes. Not prepared? Welcome.
Proceed.
I'm surprised. Starehe and Kianda, being schools in Nairobi, I would want to welcome them, but I believe we have the distinguished senator from Nairobi, my brother, Senator Sifuna, and I would like to give this opportunity to Sifuna to do the welcoming remarks. Thank you.
The majority leader, then I will give the senator for Nairobi his time to extend words of welcome. You need not donate any time to him.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my colleagues in this house, I join you in welcoming these students from Starehe and Kianda School to the Senate, who are on, I believe, a study tour. They have found us in the midst of business today, discussing statements. Should they hang around a little bit longer, Mr. Speaker, they'll see us transact other business, either business at the committee of the whole, or even dispensing of with a motion that is down the order paper. Mr. Speaker, I wish them well in their studies. I celebrate these are great institutions that have produced Kenyans of great distinction who continue to serve this country and even beyond its boundaries. So I welcome them, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi.
Thank you, Speaker. I wish to confirm that these two top schools in Nairobi are, I think, the first schools to be welcomed to this chamber by 3 senators in a row. And it is in recognition of their outstanding performance. Of course, Kianda and Starehe don't need introduction to anybody in this country. They are top institutions of learning, and we want to welcome all of you to this chamber to see for yourselves what we do here, and we hope every day that we as the leadership in Nairobi will make you proud. The majority leader was saying that it was right for you to deny me the opportunity to welcome them because I went to some school in the bush. But Honorable Speaker, I am also testament that for as long as you work hard, it doesn't matter your circumstances. you will end up with the majority leader in the same house. I don't know which school you went to. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome those students from Kianda and Starehe. And now that the 3 of us were given an opportunity to welcome you, you will also have opportunity to meet all the 3 of us outside there. So that if there are any issues that need to be attended, they say many hands make light work. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Senate sittings in Busia County.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move the following motion, which is Senate sittings in Busia County, that aware that on the 11th of July 2024, pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution, the Senate resolved to hold its plenary and committee sittings in Busia County from the 23rd to the 27th of September 2024. Further aware that on the 18th of September 2024, the Senate resolved to alter the dates of the Senate Mashinani in Busia County from the 23rd to the 27th September 2024 to the 28th of October to 1st of November 2024. Acknowledging the recommendations of the SBC to defer the holdings of its sittings in Busia County, now therefore the Senate resolves to defer its plenary and committee sittings Senate Mashinani in the counties until 4th session in 2025. Mr. Speaker, I am a big fan of Senate Mashinani, but we are all leaders and we understand the current financial situation that the country finds itself in. It is unfortunate that we shall not make it to be in Busia this year, the way we had hoped to go and interact with the people of Busia, Mr. Speaker, and enjoy working from the border towns of Namanga and so many other towns in that part of the country. But given the financial situation that the country finds itself in, you do know, Mr. Speaker, that our travel budget has been significantly reduced in follow-up to resolutions that have been made outside this House, and even our own resolution when we passed the State of the Nation motion, Mr. Speaker, where we said we must take the lead as Parliament in living within our means and ensuring that we reduce on expenditure across. If you have noticed, Senators, there has been very little travel, both without of the boundaries of Kenya and even without of the boundaries of Nairobi. We have resorted to transacting a lot of our business within Parliament, Mr. Speaker, due to the financial constraints that we find ourselves in. Further to that, Mr. Speaker, you're equally aware that in the month of December, the Parliament of Kenya shall be hosting the East African Parliamentary Games, meaning that the other 8 East African countries will be trooping actually to the Republic of Kenya. And all that bill has to be footed by Parliament of Kenya. It's quite a costly affair, Mr. Speaker, hosting the rest of the East African countries, and we have been hosted like kings. We have played and lived like royalty across all the capitals of the other 8 East African countries, Mr. Speaker. Those of us that participate in these games over the years, we know how kind the rest of the parliaments of East Africa have been to us and ensure that we have been comfortable during our stay in their countries. It will be completely gross and wrong for us, Mr. Speaker, if we give them anything less, especially knowing that Kenya is a superpower of the region. And that affair, Mr. Speaker, will leave a significant dent on our budget as Parliament. This will not be funded actually from anywhere else other than from within our own resources as a Parliament of Kenya. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, comparing the many demands that this Parliament has, we have requested at SBC that we defer the sitting of Busia to a further date when things get better and we have opportunity. I want to give a personal commitment to the people of Busia. I saw their senator here. I think he has stepped out. That when we resume this program, we shall begin in Busia. So it's not to say that it's completely off, but only that there's a temporary suspension based on the financial situation that the country and Parliament find itself in. And that is a simple reason. This is a fairly procedural motion, Mr. Speaker. It's not something we need to debate at long because I've explained the reasons. Without very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Leader of Minority, Senator Justice Retired Stewart Mazzai, to second. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I second, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Honourable Senators, I will now proceed to propose the question. That aware that on the 11th of July 2024, pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution, the Senate resolved to hold its plenary and committee sittings in Busia County from 23rd to the 27th of September 2024. Further aware that on the 18th of September 2024, the Senate resolved to alter the dates for the Senate Mashinani in Busia County from 23rd to 27th September 2024 to the 28th of October to 1st of November 2024. Acknowledging the recommendation of the Senate Business Committee to defer the holding of the sittings in Busia County, now therefore the Senate resolves to defer its plenary and committee sittings Senate Mashinani in the counties until the 4th session in 2025. Now, Honourable Senators, I believe the Majority Leader has explained in detail the reason why this motion is actually before plenary. And I don't see why you want to go into debate. However, the floor is open. Very well. Thank you. I will now proceed to put the question. That aware that on the 11th of July 2024, pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution, the Senate resolved to hold its plenary committee sittings in Busia County from 23rd to the 27th of September 2024. Further, aware that on 18th of September 2024, the Senate resolved to alter the dates for the Senate Mashinani in Busia County from 23rd to the 27th of September 2024 to 28th of October to 1st of November 2024, and acknowledging the recommendation of the Senate Business Committee to defer the holding of the sittings in Busia County. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to defer its plenary and committee sittings into brackets Senate Mashinani in the counties until the 4th session in 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order. So, honorable senators, for the convenience of the House, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, I will move to rearrange the sequence of today's order paper. We'll move to order number 10. After we are done with order number 10, we will move to order number 37, and thereafter resume normal flow of today's order paper. Clerk, proceed to call that order.
Order number 10, the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2023. Second reading.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I want to say from the onset that I rise to support this amazing bill by the wonderful Senator of Meru. Mr. Speaker, I am in the Finance and Budget Committee, and I've had the opportunity to actually interrogate this bill many times without number. And we had a lot of stakeholder engagements together with the Senator of Meru on this particular bill. And Mr. Speaker, we cannot overemphasize the issue of financial autonomy in terms of how counties, county assemblies should be able to run their affairs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the task of oversight and accountability bestowed upon county assemblies is indeed one task that has been wallowing and has been very difficult to meet because of this issue of financial autonomy, Mr. Speaker. It's very hard to oversight anybody who feeds you or anybody who holds the key to your resources, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, today I just wanted to talk about one or two pitfalls that I see with this bill that we must be able to caution the Assembly on, given that when the majority was moving this bill yesterday, Mr. Speaker, he did emphasize a lot on the benefits of this bill, and I think the second of the motion yesterday was Senator Sifuna, who also spent a lot of time, churning through the bill that I find as to be very self-explanatory, Mr. Speaker. But I think that when we were going through the process of public participation and stakeholders engagement as a committee, one of the areas that I think that is an area that as a Senate we must be able to help cushion the county assemblies on is the fact that we have experienced time without number where we see that exchequer releases to counties do extremely delay. And when exchequer releases delay going to counties, Mr. Speaker, we have seen a number of times when the county governments, led by governors, are able to sometimes to go to different banks and borrow on a short-term notice, as well as sometimes getting unsecured loans, so that those unsecured loans, they are able to pay for them when exchequer releases comes to them. Given that we are seeking for this account or financial autonomy for county assemblies, and some of these finances, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the bill, will be finances that will deal with administration, as well as sometimes affecting payrolls of those who are employed within the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. It can be sometimes very hard for the county assembly to be able to figure out how do they then go and raise resources in a case where there is serious delay with the exchequer.
And that's the one biggest thing that I think that we as a Senate should be able to perhaps ponder about and see if we can be able to create some remedy so that in the instances where there is no money going to counties due to exchequer delays, then we can be able to intervene and help counties be able to raise money in some ways as they wait for the exchequer release, because otherwise we will find ourselves in a situation whereby counties, the county executive is able to raise money for its staff or staffers when there is any exchequer stress, and sometimes not be willing. The answer here will be willing, because I don't think that we are separating the CRF completely. We're not removing it from the CRF completely. But the county government might not be willing to raise resources to deal with that shock for the county assembly. The second issue, Mr. Speaker, that I think that is technically solved by section 119A of the bill, whereby the bill proposes, and rightfully so, that the controller of budget be given the viewer rights from end to end of the distribution of money from that account, Mr. Speaker. The challenge, however, is we have also seen in some cases where COB has been faced with the challenge of almost auditing requests before payments are made, Mr. Speaker. This is another area that I think that as we discuss this particular bill, we must be able to look at making sure that the release of money, or rather the authorization of withdrawals from that account, Mr. Speaker, by the COB cannot delay the county assemblies. But otherwise, other than that, I think that the points that the majority talked about yesterday and the points that Senator Sifuna, the Senator of Nairobi, talked about yesterday on the merit of this bill with regards to giving financial autonomy to county assembly and making them more effective in terms of doing their job of accountability and oversight is indeed a wonderful bill. And I want to take this opportunity to personally pass my sincere gratitude for the wisdom and grit that the Senator of Meru and the Deputy Speaker of this House came up with to come up with this bill. I believe that this bill will enable counties to start to experience serious oversight and accountability by MCAs when their autonomy on financial matters and financial management finally comes to law, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I seek to support and hope that those two pitfalls that I've just tried to capture, even as we'll be going to division, the honorable senators will look at some of ways of being able to introduce remedies to those two pitfalls that might affect this particular autonomy. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kathuri Murungi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, also for this opportunity to contribute to this important bill. Mr. Speaker, on the onset, what the bill is proposing to do is to give county assemblies autonomy, as has been stated by my colleagues. And this is by amending the county public finance laws bill so that we can have county assemblies access their money directly from Treasury, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are trying to create what we are calling County Assembly Fund. County Assembly Fund in every county assembly. And then the clerk, who is an administrator, or the administrator of the county assemblies, or the account holders, will be able to become the administrators of this fund, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what is happening currently is that when the county assemblies want to requisite money, or when they requisite their money, they go through the CEC finance. Mr. Speaker, we know most of the counties, have problems, right from the governors themselves, the deputy governors, the governors and the county assemblies. So when a county assembly is trying to access money so that they can do their oversight and work out their programs, they must go and kneel down to the CEC finance. The CEC finance, Mr. Speaker, also now you must realize that is also a puppet of the governor. Let me not use that one, but just the governor's person who is administering his finances. So if that county assembly has issues with the governor, you must realize that that money will never be released. They will be starved of resources, and Mr. Speaker, it can be very, very diminishing to the county assemblies. And therefore, all these county assemblies sat down and they feel the only savior is the Senate. And it is the Senate that can be able to amend this law so that they can be able to get their financial autonomy, Mr. Speaker. The County Assembly Forum and other organizations in the assemblies came to me and they requested we really need to support them so that they can be able, Mr. Speaker, to access their money directly. And through this process, Mr. Speaker, I really want to thank the Committee on Finance and Budget, and then by my friend, Senator Ali Roba, because we really worked with them day and night. We even made the stakeholders forum some months ago, and very many stakeholders appeared before the Finance and Budget Committee. We deliberated on these pros and cons for almost 1 day, from morning to evening. And some of the stakeholders who attended the stakeholders forum, including the Office of the Control of Budget, the National Treasury, the Economic Planning, Council of Governors, Commission of Revenue Allocation, County Assemblies Forum, and the Institute of Certified Public Accountants. All these stakeholders and valid submissions. But at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, sir, it was really necessary. It was agreed that it is really necessary to have this amendment bill go through. Mr. Speaker, some of the county assemblies, unfortunately, which has a very high own source revenue, like for example, Nairobi, Mombasa, they had a different view, and even Narok. Because when there is delay of submission, delay of release of money by Treasury, they go to the governors and then they borrow from their own source revenue, and then they are able to function. So they felt that if this money is taken to the Treasury directly, then at some point they will not have that advantage to request for favors from still the governors through their own source revenue account. So, Mr. Speaker, during these deliberations, but at least, because we have 47 counties, I told them you cannot have your cake and eat your cake and have it, Mr. Speaker, because they must really agree what they want as county assemblies. So Mr. Speaker, the autonomy of county assemblies is very, very critical, Honorable Speaker. And if I quote Article 185(3) of the Constitution, which provides that a county assembly, while respecting the principle of the separation of powers, may exercise oversight over the county executive and any other executive organs. Mr. Speaker, I've interacted with many county assemblies, and most of the time, they are not able even to do the oversight work because, number one, they need resources to move around the county. Most of the time, there is no money in the county assemblies. So when they try to do requisition for their money to run around, they are not able to do that, Mr. Speaker. And even the Senate, the National Assembly, cannot be able to perform if we rely on the executive, to give us money to do our oversight role or to learn the administration of the Senate. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to treat the county assemblies, the 47 county assemblies, the way the national government treats parliament in both houses. Because once the budget is done, the money is given to the parliament. Then parliament sits down to allocate money through PSC, Parliamentary Service Commission, money for the National Assembly and money for the Senate. So it is us who decide what to do when. It's only that sometimes the exchequer releases delays, but Mr. Speaker, we have that autonomy. We have that power to decide on what to do with our programs. So, Mr. Speaker, most of the assemblies also told me that they have a lot of manipulation and intimidations after they are starved of funds, Mr. Speaker. And so, if this money is given to them, if we give the money. And then also, Mr. Speaker, another challenging matter that we have in the counties is also now the exchequer release. And it is only the Senate that can be able to help the county governments. Because if they stay for 3 months without the money being released to the counties, then also I'm sure, even as we give these county assemblies autonomy, if this problem is not sorted once and for all, Mr. Speaker, still it will be a problem in the future. Mr. Speaker, you remember when we ended the devolution conference in Uasin Gishu County, the President of the Republic of Kenya pronounced himself that he will be very happy indeed if Senate passes a law that can give county assemblies that autonomy. And I remember even yourself during your keynote address, you indicated that there is a law in place being processed by the Senate, and this is the law, Mr. Speaker, which will be able now to give the autonomy of the county assemblies. The county council of governors, also they said they have no problem in ensuring that county assemblies are able to run independently, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, actually, one other thing that is very, very critical is this Article 119A. Because Article 119A, I remember last year, the control of budget appeared before the Finance and Budget Committee of the Senate and indicated that it is not possible for us to even know what is happening in the county governments, county assemblies, or any other county bodies that we have in this country. Simply because the question was, how do you release money to the counties, and then something like pending bills? You learn that some of the contracts which were done 2 years ago and have not been paid. But the contract which has been done 3 months ago gets the payment. So, Mr. Speaker, the reason is that what the control budget was saying is that once the requisition is made by the county governments or county executives, it is not possible for us again to know where they take that money, which contractor they pay. So our recommendation was that should like to have viewer rights, just to have a view, just to click on the computer and see what is happening in Meru County, for example. You have done requisition for agriculture, for department, for other departments, but how did you spend that money? Did you take that money to the specific vote lines? So, Mr. Speaker, this is a good thing that we are giving the control on budget, and I think once this law is enacted by the Senate, we will be able to relieve a lot of pressure from our people who do not get their pending bills. I remember when Senator for Narok County came up with a motion here, every senator was alarmed by the figures in pending bills in our counties, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank him because he's accurate to every member to see how the status of every county. So, Mr. Speaker, what you are doing here, especially this bill, is very, very critical. And this Senate, the 40th Senate, will go into history by trying to help devolution. And, Mr. Speaker, these are the laws that we really need to see and to see moving forward, so that by the time we leave here, the 5 years, Kenyans will be happy that we did the right thing for them. Actually, in the offering also is to see how even the county deputy governors are able to be managed through law, so that also, Mr. Speaker, we can minimize the tension between the governors and the deputy governors. So in the process, there is still another law registration that is in the offering, so that, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to help our counties so that they can perform well. Mr. Speaker, because we have so many other senators who are interested to make their comment, so I want to stop there. But, Mr. Speaker, I really want to thank you and the Office of the Clerk for the support that you give this process. And moving forward, senators, let us support this BB so that we can at least give our assemblies that autonomy that they desperately need. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity to also contribute to this bill. And from the onset, Mr. Speaker, I must thank the promoter of the bill for the good job and the good thought that he has brought this bill before us for debate, Mr. Speaker, and most importantly for the consultations that he has had with the different stakeholders, Mr. Speaker, especially in the county assemblies across the country. Mr. Speaker, I would want to begin by saying that devolution is perhaps one of the best things that has happened in our country within the context of the 2010 Constitution. The most unfortunate thing, Mr. Speaker, is that devolution seems to have somehow gotten stuck at county headquarters, and especially in the executive arms of the county government. Speaker, I want to remind myself and my colleagues that Article 176 of the Constitution creates county governments with two arms, the executive and the assemblies. And the Speaker, none of these arms is superior to the other. They should work interdependently, Mr. Speaker, to deliver services to the residents of the counties in which they are established. The financial autonomy, Mr. Speaker, of county assemblies, the benefits thereof cannot be gainsaid. If we were able, Mr. Speaker, to achieve the financial autonomy of county assemblies, then what we will be doing as a Senate is that we will be beginning to scratch the surface to ensure now devolution moves beyond the county headquarters towards the wards as centers of development. The Speaker, it is not a good thing that as things obtain today, the county assemblies will have to approach the CECMs for finance in the executive arm of government for them to be able to access finances to do anything and everything. It is a good thing, Mr. Speaker, that we have this County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill 2023, which seeks, Mr. Speaker, to amend the County Assembly Services Act and the Public Finance Management Act to ensure the autonomy of county assemblies. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention just 2 or 3 things in the bill. One is the establishment of the County Assembly Fund as captured in Clause 109A. Mr. Speaker, the establishment of this fund is critical to ensuring that then, as county executives are accountable to the National Exchequer, especially for the releases and the control of budget, then the assemblies will also equally be accountable through the clerk of the assemblies for the expenditure and the utilization of their own budgets. Mr. Speaker, it shall be remembered that when the IFMIS, the Integrated Financial Management System, was being rolled out immediately after devolution, there was a conversation that had been started, and that conversation seems to have stalled. There was a conversation around the establishment of counties' integrated financial management system. So, Mr. Speaker, we have a parallel, almost independent system of accountability for county assemblies, fully taking cognizance of the fact of our structure of government as a system of devolution. So, Speaker, perhaps that conversation needs to be revived. So, Mr. Speaker, we have a county's integrated financial management system to ensure that counties are accountable in the expenditure of their own finances. The Speaker, I like the provisions of clause 109B on the utilization of the fund, and it says in black and white that the fund shall be used to defray administrative expenses of the county assemblies, acquisition and proper maintenance of buildings, grounds, and other assets of the county assembly, and administrative expenses as may be incurred by the fund under this act. So, Mr. Speaker, that is expressly provided for. That, Mr. Speaker, the clerk of the assembly, who is designated as the accounting officer for the fund, then will have to directly answer or work closely with the controller of budget for the management of their own accounts, their own funds. The Speaker, I think, as I said when I began, if we are able to achieve this, a situation that then the assemblies will not have to rely on the executives for anything, then devolution will have made a big leap going forward. The Speaker, with those many remarks, I support the bill.
Senator Samson Chalagi.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. From the onset, I want to congratulate you for this wonderful bill. As the champion of members of County Assembly, the MCAs, I want to say this is one way we'll build the capacity and ability of MCAs who are the leaders of Mashinani. Mr. Speaker, as I said before, when an issue occurs in a village, the first people that the ordinary wananchi run to are normally the MCAs. From issues of funeral bills, arambes, or issues of many challenges, people giving birth in hospitals and other over-glorified social work responsibility, Mr. Speaker. So I really want to thank you because the role of members of County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, is one of the role is very important because they play the primary oversight. Even in the County Public Accounts Committee where I sit, Mr. Speaker, we normally rely on the local knowledge of the area MCA to tell us on the projects and deliverable, Mr. Speaker. I think there are key issues that we have agreed that we need to deliver to members of County Assembly. One of them, Mr. Speaker, was to give them more development fund. Even in the NADCO report, Mr. Speaker, it was captured that we need to entrench one development fund, CDF, Senate Oversight Fund. That one we are yet to achieve. Number two, Mr. Speaker, was to look into their welfare. Because most of the MCAs in the SRC secular, Mr. Speaker, they didn't consider MCAs in terms of ensuring that they have capacity, ability in terms of their welfare, from how they run their offices, including ward offices, including mileage allowances, Mr. Speaker, sitting allowances and plenary allowances, committee allowances, and even basic salary, Mr. Speaker, that they need to be rationalized by SRC. I'm happy that the SRC is being reconstituted and we have a new chairperson of SRC, Salaries and Remuneration Commission. This will be a big plus to members of County Assembly, Mr. Speaker. So the final one, Mr. Speaker, which you have led us today through your bill, Mr. Speaker, of course, you having been one of the senior most members of Parliament in this House, Mr. Speaker, is this one of financial autonomy. I think if these three things can be achieved for the benefit of MCAs, Mr. Speaker, it will be very critical, Mr. Speaker, going into the future. I'm happy we need to treat MCAs with the respect and decorum and dignity to ensure their primary oversight is carried out, Mr. Speaker, without hindrance. Even, Mr. Speaker, I see even in social functions or in state function, in county functions, Mr. Speaker, sometimes we don't even give MCAs to address the gathering, and yet they are the leaders of Mashinani who know the village level problems. And sometimes I feel sad when I go to public functions, church functions, state functions, county functions, the MCAs are being told, can you stand up and wave? Thank you for coming, Mr. Speaker. I think as leaders who interact daily with the people from the grassroots level, Mr. Speaker, they should be the one. Then you find people like PSS and permanent secretaries and cabinet secretaries are given an hour or so to speak on something even they are not aware, Mr. Speaker, yet the MCAs could be. Mr. Speaker, even the Bible says, whoever my responsibility is given, much is expected. I want also to challenge the MCAs, just like the Meru MCAs, just like Kericho MCAs. Let them do their job without fear or contradiction or fearing governors or CCMs, Mr. Speaker. In as much as we want to ensure MCAs get financial autonomy, their welfare is looked into, Mr. Speaker. They are respected. They should also do their job, because that is the calling, Mr. Speaker, of the good book. For us who are Christians, that is what is demanded from them. So in as much as we are pushing for the capacity and ability of members of county assembly across the nation, we also demand for them to do their job. Mr. Speaker, it's shocking when the governors appear before County Public Accounts Committee, where I sit as the vice chairperson, and even the local MCA does not have the local knowledge of the local project. Even their own budget, which they discuss and approve at the county assembly level. So I want to challenge the MCAs and call out MCAs, Mr. Speaker. Whenever you go, some MCAs behave like they are PROs of governors. They behave as public relations officers of governors. They speak more to programs of governors and hero-worshipping governors and building governors into cult personality. Yet we are here working hard to ensure they give them capacity and ability, Mr. Speaker. So I want to call out MCAs that they should know their job also. As we push for their good welfare here in the floor of the House and in Parliament, Mr. Speaker, they should also behave and be the oversight. I don't see the need why would an MCA be telling us about implementation of projects, yet the CCM is sitting here, the chief officer is sitting here. Even I saw the governor of Narok was in development tour of Emurua Digir constituency. But when you see there is nothing in Emurua Digir constituency that the governor was going to launch. He was going to beat stories, Mr. Speaker. Did you see the convoy of Narok governor? Convoy that the president cannot have. It was trending, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, how many cars? There were more cars, even almost 100 motor vehicles of high-end SUVs, Mr. Speaker. Yet, and the people who are hero-worshipping and building cult personality as the MCAs who are supposed to oversight. Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate. We must call out MCAs to do their job, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that they are performing, Mr. Speaker. Even in Nandi, for example, when COVID struck, the sitting governor decided to put a budget 115 million for mass grave. But that land does not exist. When you ask MCAs, they don't know where that land is, Mr. Speaker. When we told them to do their job, they decided to go and fight in the county assembly, Mr. Speaker, because of small monies and favors that are just chasing around. Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon the MCAs as we give them the financial autonomy. To whoever much is given, much is expected, Mr. Speaker. I have had colleagues say something, number 2, Mr. Speaker, because I only have 3 points. Article 219 is very clear. Money that is dispersed should be given to counties without undue delay. Counties are not beggars to the national treasury. They should not. And the CS in charge of national treasury, CS Mbadi, should be aware of Article 219, Mr. Speaker. When money is released to counties, it should be released without undue delay unless denied by Article 225 of the Constitution 2010, Mr. Speaker. So I want to call upon the CS. The last time we did censure the former CS Ukuri Atani over delayed disbursement to counties, Mr. Speaker. I am happy in your proposal, Mr. Speaker, of your bill, the County Public Finance Bill, Amendment Bill to the Public Finance and Management Act. I am happy that the counties will have county assemblies fund, just like county revenue fund within the Central Bank of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. We are tired, Mr. Speaker. I was speaking in confidence to some of MCAs, and whenever I go to Nandi and other counties, you know, I ask MCAs, what are you doing? Why are you not doing your job of oversighting the government? They tell me, Mheshimiwa Senator, you know, if you are not loyal, you don't look nice before the governor, Mr. Speaker, they can deny developments to your ward and then come and hit you politically, and then you lose in future, Mr. I want to tell them, politicians think about the next election, but leaders think about the next generation, Mr. Speaker. So I want to challenge them, Mr. Speaker. We are tired of this begging, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, can I repeat that? I think it is a demand, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, politicians think about the next election, but leaders think about the next generation, Mr. Speaker. And I think that should be, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. That is why I want to challenge the MCAs to do their job wherever they are, Mr. Speaker. We are tired where MCAs have to do hero worshipping and cult personalities of governors so that the wards and development, it is not a favor for Kaptumo Kapoy ward to get development simply because the MCA is hero worshipping the governor. It is the right of each and every ward, 30 wards of Nandi County and wards across the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. We are tired where the MCAs, the CCM of finance, behave like demigods before the MCAs, Mr. Speaker. We want them to have access to their own funds so that they can discuss their recurrent expenditure and legislative agenda, Mr. Speaker. So that they can do ad hoc committees, so that they have accountability committees within the county assemblies, can do their job without fear or favor against the executive of counties. And I want to challenge county assemblies. I heard my brother Senator Wambua, Reverend, say that the county assembly and county executive are equal. And this issue of lack of financial autonomy, Mr. Speaker, and I thank your Solomonic wisdom, has been a challenge because this one has made MCAs look like they are subordinate to the county executive, which is very unfortunate. They are equal power, Mr. Speaker. We want the structure here in Senate. Our accounting clerk is Clerk Nyegenye. When you go to the National Assembly, although he's the accounting clerk for the PSC, is Clerk Njoroge in the National Assembly. In fact, the other day I was asking, what is the need of parliamentary joint services? Yet every house has its own accounting clerk. The money that is shared to Parliament, let it share into half. The clerk of the Senate be in charge of accounting of the Senate. The other one in the National Assembly, the lower house, our sister house, although they are proposing a bill through jailer to scrap us, but we shall scrap them before they scrap us. Mr. Speaker, they should also hold their own accounting. Then these parliamentary joint services is an animal that the law does not recognize, Mr. Speaker. And that is why we normally complain for lack of facilities, Mr. Speaker, because of that animal up to today, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge that the model of running of accounting should be just like the Parliament of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. I am saying this, Mr. Speaker, with a heavy heart, knowing that the MCA of Shale Ward, Yusuf Hussein Ahmed in Wajir County is still missing and unaccounted for, Mr. Speaker. You remember an MCA from Kakamega County was attacked and killed, Mr. Speaker. There was even a talk of assigning them an ability or even assigning them to bodyguard, Mr. Speaker, so that they are safe. You know, politics attracts a lot of enemies. For example, myself, Mr. Speaker, many people are looking for me. It is that God has been protecting me and be gracious, Mr. Speaker. But I want to challenge, in fact, the MCAs has been attacked on several occasions. We must also ensure that we give even the MCAs, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, if we are giving Nairobi or Nandi around 10 billion, and then the person who oversight, the person who is in charge 10 billion is unprotected, the political goons will always be sent to the way of MCAs. And even as we remember the MCA that was killed in Kakamega, somebody is yet to be arrested. The MCA that is missing of Wajir in Shale Ward, if he had bodyguard, maybe things would have been different, Mr. Speaker. We have had even your MCAs, Mr. Speaker, during the impeachment of the impeached Governor Kawira Mwangaza, because she is impeached, although she is challenging her impeachment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they had to sleep at the chambers. They had to lock themselves at Meru County Assembly because their security was not guaranteed, Mr. Speaker. Because even I'm told they were not accessing their salaries and allowances because the county, the executive were preventing them from accessing because they wanted them to drop the motion against the impeachment motion against the impeached governor, Mr. Speaker, because I think we know there is the impeached deputy president, there is now the impeached governor, Mr. Speaker. So I think that is what number 4, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of autonomy, I agree, but I don't agree, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of, there is the issue, just the third point, because I have only 4. The administrator of a county assembly shall obtain the written approval of the controller of budget. Mr. Speaker, I want to caution members of county assembly. We have seen, and yesterday we saw a county like Machakos, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy the senator of Machakos is here. They were having close to 300 bank accounts, Mr. Speaker. 300 bank accounts. Yet when you go to controller budget, they want only few accounts, the CRF, to allow feasibility of COB. Because we are aware counties are doing the animal calling, voiding payments, where the counties demand that they want to pay Ledama, but the money, when the money is released, they pay Senator Wambua, Mr. Speaker, just for purposes of illustration. I'm not saying they are being paid, just for purposes of illustration, Mr. Speaker. So that is how counties are perpetuating the issue of voiding of payments, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I agree with this provision that the issue of control of budget, before withdrawing money, they must be approved by control of budget, Mr. Speaker. And the county assembly should stop opening bank accounts. When we challenge governors who appear before us, and I'm happy the chair of devolution is here, they are looking in financial bank accounts. You saw like Bungoma had over 300 commercial bank accounts. In Nandi, they have over 500 commercial bank accounts. Apart from CRF, apart from special purpose account, and apart from the facility improvement accounts under the Facility Improvements Act, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, we want to caution county assemblies, as we give you financial autonomy, we want them to maintain one account of county assemblies fund within the Central Bank of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, the fourth point, I will disagree, Mr. Speaker, because the proper maintenance of buildings, Mr. Speaker, I can see you have given functionality and utilization of fund. One of them, it is defray administrative expenses, which I agree. You know, Mr. Speaker, I see people, because now county assemblies appear before us for auditing as county public accounts. The business of county assemblies last parliament, it is recurrent. How you gauge the functionality of a county assembly is committee meetings, plenary, tabling of reports, motions, bills, and any other oversight role that is allocated by the law. So, Mr. Speaker, I agree with you. The only challenge, there are still counties that have not completed their county chambers, including my own county. Nandi County Assembly is yet to complete their chamber. We went to Isiolo, Mr. Speaker, that one is told, and a number of county assemblies I want to challenge. I think in Narok, I'm told the county executive is squatting on the land of the county assembly. So they need also to put their assets in order. We don't want the county executive of Narok to be squatting on the property of county assembly premises, Mr. Speaker. We need them to have evaluation role, to have full fixed asset that ensure the assets of county assembly are captured going into the future, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chaligei, what is your point of order, Senator Zena?
Mr. Speaker, I was rising on a point of order for a long time. I've been waiting on the queue because I needed, I'm rising on Standing Order 105 on a statement of facts because Senator Cherargei has alleged that the governor of Narok was using public funds for the convoy that was seen the other day with several vehicles. Does he have facts that the vehicles were funded by public monies or they were private vehicles? So he needs to substantiate that fact. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I didn't even get what is the issue.
Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, so that I don't lose my Solomonic trail of thought, I'll request to substantiate tomorrow. So that I don't lose this serious meat. You know, those are diversionary tactics that are an essential for this matter that is before here. Mr. Speaker, finally, so that I allow my colleagues, so I agree largely with the financial autonomy. Let us give to county assemblies. I want to call upon MCAs, when you are given this financial autonomy, make sure you use it for the betterment of our running of county assemblies, do their oversight. Mr. Speaker, with those very, very, very many remarks to congratulate you and wish you well, and therefore support this bill with all everything that I have, including my body organs, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is the minority whip, Senator Olekina Rendama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the separation of powers, the principle of separation of powers requires the county assemblies to be independent. But currently, as we are in this country, I want to blame the framers of the Constitution because of the rush to be able to set up county governments. They never saw a problem when it comes to the issue of the executive controlling the assemblies. Today, Mr. Speaker, when the clerk or the speaker of the assembly want to be able to authorize payment for the administrative cost, payment for plenary seating, allowances, they depend entirely on the executive. And in most cases, the executive will decide whether to approve Form A or not. So this bill, this amendment to the PFM Act is quite timely, Mr. Speaker. And I want to support it fully because I want to see county assemblies being able to carry out their oversight authority without any dependency on the executive. Mr. Speaker, the bill as proposed by yourself as a senator of Meru really concludes this debate that started a very long time ago. This is a debate that started a long time ago from the previous two Senates, when the Senate was trying to figure out how do we deal with this issue. Yet the Constitution only sets up one CRF, County Revenue Fund. But I think because of the solonomic wisdom of yourself, Mr. Speaker, you've been able to look at the law, the PFM Act, and see an avenue that the county assemblies can also be able to have their service fund. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the recommendation that you've put across. And although I support all these recommendations that you put across to be able to set up this county assembly service fund, I see one challenge, Mr. Speaker. And I'm not sure, Mr. Speaker, whether you've really seen the danger of the amendment of Section 109E, where you say the county treasurer shall at the beginning of every month and in any event not later than 15 days from the commencement of the month disperse monies to county assemblies fund for the expenditure of the following month. Mr. Speaker, I see us going back to the same problem. Going back to the same problem where the executive decides when to send this money. Mr. Speaker, I would like to beseech you that you do away with that provision and give the power directly to the control of budget. That whenever the control of budget see a requisition, because today, Mr. Speaker, when the clerk of Narok County wants to requisition money from the control of budget, the clerk of Narok County, whom is the one you've given all the powers to be the accounting officer, will have to rely on the CEO finance or the CC finance. Now, Mr. Speaker, if you still leave this provision in this amendment, don't you see that this will still continue being, a problem, a hindrance? So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to beseech you to do away with this Section 109E completely. Mr. Speaker, let the accounting officer of the Assembly communicate directly to the control of budget. And while communicating to the control of budget, Mr. Speaker, we still see there's a problem with the control of budget approval. We have a representative of the control of budget in each of the 47 counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before the county executive or the county assembly, in this case the clerk, requisition any money, it has to go through the representative of the control of budget for them to be able to approve that there is a vote held on that amount. But you know what happened realistically, Mr. Speaker? Immediately after this representative of the control of budget approves and say, control of budget, you may at least release this money. If you happen to go to the office of the control of budget, Mr. Speaker, you will see the CCM finance. You will also see the clerk there trying to begin the process all over again. Why are we putting all these, bureaucrats or like hurdles to be able to get money? It's a very simple process. Everybody knows that each county has their ceiling. A county can have their ceiling of 1 billion shillings. Allow them to spend their money directly from their fund. Let them requisition, the control of budget releases the money. Mr. Speaker, you've introduced a new provision here where you are now allowing the control of budget viewing access This is going to be very controversial, Mr. Speaker. We've been dealing with this issue where people are saying, no, we do not want. If you take time and speak to the Council of Governors, they'll tell you, no, we do not want the control of budget to have access to our funds. We don't want her to view. But if you look at the Constitution and you read the Constitution clearly, I believe it's Article 228, subsection 5 or 6, where it says the control of budget shall not withdraw money from the county revenue fund unless she's satisfied that that money that he's withdrawing is authorized by law. Then your proposition is justified. But of course, those who are spending do not want to be called to account to it. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll beseech you to remove this hindrance. There's no point of the assembly depending on the executive. I know the PFM Act as it stands right now, it puts the county treasurer as a CC finance. He's the sole county treasurer. But now that we are introducing this provision and we are giving the clerk of the county assembly the powers to be able to administer these funds, you know, why then should we not give him almost similar powers as the powers that the CCM finance has as the head of that treasury? So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like you to relook at Section 109E, and I want to be able to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, we make these amendments during the Committee of the Whole. Because if you leave this, you will not have solved the problem. You've attempted to solve the problem by 109E2, when you say the disbursement referred to is subsection 1, shall be done in accordance with the schedule prepared by the county treasurer. Again, county treasurer. And submitted to the county assembly for approval together with the county appropriation bill under section 129(7). Mr. Speaker, we are trying to resolve a problem here, but we are not solving it. The county assemblies will continue having that problem. It depends on the relationship between the speaker, the clerk, and the county governor. He will just say, ignore. Let's not release the money. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to beseech you that you do away with 109E completely. Let's give these guys their full autonomy. Let them control their money. We already know CRA, this Senate, our Committee in Finance has deliberated on the ceiling of the county assemblies. The only thing that we may need to revisit, Mr. Speaker, is in terms of the growth of the ceiling of the county assemblies. Because if you look at the way the ceiling of the county assembly funds are growing, it is not proportional to the way the funds for the executive are growing. So we have to figure out and revisit that so that we don't find a place where county assemblies have got so much money, and they cannot really absorb it. Remember, Mr. Speaker, county assemblies do not have any big vote head on development. So these are recurrent expenditures. So I think we need to be practical to make sure that we have a system that works properly. Mr. Speaker, I would agree with my colleagues that the current situation is not a very conducive environment for the assemblies. And that is why you find it that whenever, even in our oversight committees, we invite the county assemblies to come and appear before us. County assemblies will just tell you, we have a problem. We may not even be able to afford to pay for fuel, to fuel our vehicles to come and attend the sessions because the executive have not yet released our funds. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe this is something which is going to help all the 47 counties and as well as help devolution. You know, there's this business that governors still think that they are the fathers of the MCAs. You'll find the governor saying that my MCAs, they're not your MCAs. The MCAs are elected by the people to oversight the county governor. So I think it is important that we clarify those two. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I believe I've summarized my points clearly to the fact that, one, it is important that we do away with that double prong of I think it's accountability. It's not really accountability, but really examination of documents. The controller of budget must agree that if she has a representative in the 47 counties, if the representative has gone through all the documentation, let's not waste time allowing people to travel from counties to come in and camp in her office. If she has a problem, let us deal with an electronic system. Mr. Speaker, the next, and I believe the next amendment, and I was hoping that you would be able to piggyback on this one, would be one of establishing an end-to-end IFMI system to avoid this issue where you require the CCM of finance, CEO of finance, to be able to give double authority for the funds to be released. This is why you're finding a lot of people are complaining that there's so many pending bills. Because when the money is released by the controller of budget, the people who are supposed to be paid are not the ones who are paid, the funds are diverted. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I wanted to request, because this is the bill sponsored by the Senator of Meru County, that Section 119A that you are requesting, you are now introducing, where you say the controller of budget shall have viewer rights access to all bank accounts maintained by the county executive, the county assembly, and all other county government entities. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether it will be overstretching to further require and add 119B to require that when payments are being made out, that the controller of budget shall have some form of viewer rights to the people who are being paid that money, to ensure that the accounts, or rather, Mr. Speaker, when the county executive or the county clerk are requesting to pay vendors, that they shall include the vendor account numbers to the requisition. And in that requisition, when the money has been sent out, we should require the banks to send a confirmation that the money which was authorized by the controller of budget has been sent to the supplier. That, Mr. Speaker, will end this business of pending bills. That, Mr. Speaker, will end this business of the diversion of funds. Because diversion of funds, Mr. Speaker, is a cancer that if we don't deal with right now and cut it out completely, we will continue having huge pending bills. People will continue killing themselves because the counties have not paid them. When we have a crisis in a stagnating economy like this one right now, most businesses out there will continue suffering. So, Mr. Speaker, I fully support this, and I will be sitting down with you, Mr. Speaker, so that at the Committee of the Whole, we include those two new amendments. We do away with Section 119 that you've introduced. 119E, let us allow county assemblies to be able to fully manage their funds. This will even help the MCAs be able to go out there and carry out their oversight function, because they will no longer complain that they have not been given their mileage, that they have not been given their sitting allowance, because the executive has not yet released money to the county assembly clerk. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
See there is something, there is a problem with 109E, and I had an issue also with the finance committee, because Senator Mutembei is next. She will tell us how to cure that 109E, because the committee feels it shouldn't be.
No, it's your bill, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutembei, you are next.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And yes, truly, as the Committee of Finance, we were able to deliberate on your bill. And allow me to start really by thanking you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, for this wonderful bill that at least as Senate, we are going to leave a legacy as far as our MCAs are concerned. These are our leaders that represent us at the lowest level, at the Mashinani level, leaders that this Senate highly respects very much our MCAs, Mr. Speaker. And that is why we really take this bill very dear to us. And I would wish my very good friend, Senator of Narok County, would be able to accord me full hearing, as I did, so that when I get to clause 109E, I can be able to shed some light on what us as the committee deliberated and what we settled, why we settled for the clause as it is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to, is really requesting I go to my comments on clause 109 and, sorry, it's, yes, 109, I'm very keen. Minority Leader, 109E, yes, says that the county treasurer shall at the beginning of every month, and in any event not later than date 15th, from the commencement of the fund, blah, 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 and all that, ensure that the funds are dispersed. That was taking care of timely disbursement. But I know the concern that is in place because we are trying to cure that autonomy for the MCAs would be in place. It seems like the county treasurer still sort of has final powers. But this is the reason, Mr. Speaker. According to the PFM Act, what how we analyzed and looked at was that we cannot allow more than one or two people to be able to have access to the CRF account. And that was the reason why, as a committee, we really deliberated on these issues, because we looked at it from how my colleague has also tried to look at it and thought, then will there be autonomy, or still there will be so much dependency? But light was shed, and was shed in the sense that it will not be so safe, it will not be so prudent or wise to allow many signatories for this CRF account. And since the funds will be transferred now to the county service fund that we are creating, what we are trying to ensure is that the county treasurer will adhere to the timeline, because already a schedule will be in place, so that he or she can be able to ensure timely remittance now to this service fund account, so that the CRF account does not have so many officers or accounting officers who are accessing this particular account. Mr. Speaker, for none other than the safety of ensuring that we minimize the number of signatories who are supposed to be able to access this account. That was the view, but because we are having contributions, deliberations, and everyone's opinion is very much highly respected and welcomed, we can continue engaging further. And because we have very competent legal personnel who guide us, and especially in our committee, we have none other than Lucy Radoli, who really will engage deeply, because this was one of the greatest concerns. So not that we did not, we overlooked it. We were very keen on this particular issue, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm listening to my dear sister trying to explain the reasoning behind still maintaining the hindrance of the autonomy of the assemblies. And I'm just trying to understand, and I would like her to clarify, why is it that they did not look at the provision of the PFM Act that sets up the CCM finance as the county treasurer, vis-a-vis Article 228, subsection 5, which talks about the control of budget, having the powers to be able to release the money. And in this case, right now, when the clerk of the assembly requires money to be able to offset the expenditures, they will write to the CCM finance. The CCM finance then writes to the control of budget and ask the Controller of Budget to release money to the county assembly. But when the money is released to the county assembly, that money does not normally go to the assembly. So, because I'm trying to figure out, as we are debating on this issue, could the distinguished senator clarify why was it not easy for the committee to then further amend the section that puts in the CCM Finance as the main treasurer for the county? Because I remember, and I was giving her the history behind this. When devolution started, Mr. Speaker, there was only one audit account, which was the county government of, let's say, Narok County. But subsequent, after the assemblies went through this hurdle, then it was divided into two, which now it was made the Auditor General would audit the executive and audit the assembly. So there are two separate accounts. And the clerk, even before devolution, Mr. Speaker, the clerk of the county council were the accounting officers. So I'm just trying to understand that if the distinguished senator can give that clarity, so that we can end with this back and forth, so that when we are deliberating on this matter to cast a vote, we can actually be able to cure this problem once and for all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I've had my colleague, and I know this bill is your bill and you're very passionate about it, which is allowed, of course. And so I would still say that that is our view in terms of how we thought about it, it being that this is a consolidated fund. So the wisdom was simply just to avoid forwarding back so many signatories. I'll leave it at that at this particular moment, Mr. Speaker. And look at the other clauses that the bill has looked into. One of it also being clause 3, Mr. Speaker, that the clerk of the assembly shall be the administrator. And Mr. Speaker, the clerk of the assembly, like the clerk of the Senate, is the one who's in direct communication with the senators, and in the case of the county assembly, then the clerk of the county assembly is also the administrator. And for him to ensure, or her to ensure, that there is a smooth flow of the workings of the members of the county assembly, he stands best to administer this particular fund. Mr. Speaker, looking at also clause 5, which talks about that the administrator of the county assembly shall arrange for the county assembly fund to be kept in the Central Bank of Kenya in an account to be known as the county assembly fund account. Mr. Speaker, when I sit where I sit as a member of county investment special fund, and when we're doing audit and doing oversight, we really come across issues of different bank accounts that have been opened by different accounting officers in the different funds that the counties are allowed to be able to open. So with this clause 5.8, communicating and talking about that the account shall be kept within central bank, it minimizes the issues that we've seen happening in the counties, because it is the same counties that do open these particular accounts, Mr. Speaker. And so avoidance of this so many accounts is very, very important. So many accounts, Mr. Speaker, then brings challenge during the oversight process. And so it is key to note that minimal accounts are required. Part B talks about that ensure that all monies authorized by the county for the public purpose is paid from the account without undue withdrawal. Mr. Speaker, this will have to go up to the level of the National Treasury. National Treasury, and I'm happy we have a new minister, and since he's also been a member of this parliament, is going to ensure that timely disbursements of the funds to the counties will be done on time. That delay of the funds has really caused a lot of problems. Problems that are existing today, problems for the pending bills, at the same time, problems for our great working leaders, the members of the county assembly. our leaders at the county level, our MCAs to be specific, at times go for almost 3 months without their salaries. And mark you, Mr. Speaker, these are the leaders who are in direct communication with our people at the ground level. Unlike us who come to Nairobi and who transact our business because our offices are within Nairobi and we go to Mashinani during the weekend, it is different for the MCAs who in each and every day they are meeting with the people, they're interacting with the people, and the people are also sharing the needs. If an MCA would go without salary for 2 to 3 months, for Christ's sake, it becomes very hectic. So I would still want to urge, as we ensure that timely disbursement of these funds to the county, this fund, the county assembly fund account, should be timely. It starts at the treasury level. So the CS, the new CS, should ensure, because this is what he promised when he came to this house, and really affirm that timely disbursements will be done and will be done on time, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, without this, then we will be killing devolution. Undermining devolution is the last thing that Senate wants to embark on, and so timely disbursements will always be very key, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, looking at 109B, the fund shall be used to defray administrative services, also acquisition of maintenance of buildings, grounds, and other assets. Mr. Speaker, in the Committee of Finance, we have a room whereby when the MCAs appear before our committee requesting for increment of their ceilings, this is normally brought about by the projects that they do have, Mr. Speaker. And in most cases, we've looked at those issues and accorded the increment of the ceilings. Mr. Speaker, one thing to note is that we've had counties like northeastern counties, whereby they would talk about the challenges that they go through for them to do the oversight. And even as senators, before we do the oversight for the counties, the mandate is within the MCAs themselves. But if they do not have enough facilitation and they have all these challenges, mobility and all that, it becomes really a hurdle for them to be able to achieve their mandate, which is oversight, the basic mandate. So when this fund will be in place, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly Fund, it will give a smooth running for them to be able to conduct their oversight smoothly, for them to be able to conduct their training capacities as required smoothly, without challenges, without continuing to beg the same employers, that is the CEC Finance, who has been vetted by the same MCAs, accorded the same responsibility by the same MCAs, and they have to go back and beg, you know, for facilitation, beg for support, financial support, for them to be able to undertake their roles, Mr. Speaker. So with this fund, it will give them, you know, maximum output. I've had yesterday when we were deliberating the bill for Senator Crisol on the MCA's nominations, concerns were a bit raised in terms of the quality, competency, and all that. But, Mr. Speaker, when this fund will be in place, it will be able to empower MCAs to be able to understand and how to partake their roles, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I would want to conclude on the issue of the 119A that says that the control of budget shall have viewer rights access to all the bank accounts maintained by the county executive, the county assembly, and all other county government entities. Mr. Speaker, it is the high time that the control of budget, Madam Margaret Nyakango, to set in all the 47 counties, to set and establish departments or offices for the subsidiary offices for the control of budget, so that there is smooth flow of these audit processes and all the work that pertains to the office of the controller of budget. Because as we speak, it's within the city, it is within Nairobi. So you find that it becomes a challenge. Like you see, look at the office of the Auditor General. We have officers that have been distributed across all the regions, across all the counties, and they are able to maximally partake their roles and do maximum audit, because during our audit process, we always meet with them, representing different regions, counties, and their work is able to flow. But the control of budget team, it's still narrowed. There must be diversification, there must be maximum officers that have been deployed to the different counties so that they are able to ensure the role of the control of budget is maximally achieved, Mr. Speaker. And with those and many few remarks, I look forward that this bill will quickly, and before even we go to the long recess, that we'll have concluded on it and passed on it, and probably our colleague at the National Assembly will also be able to fast-track this particular bill so that we support our MCAs and any other issues that are within the MCAs will ensure we maximally support them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to, first of all, congratulate you for this County Public Finance Law Amendment Bill 2023, because this is very much overdue, Mr. Speaker. I remember there are 2 more recommendations about MCAs being given finance autonomy. When I was in BBI, we had also recommended that they be given a ward fund directly to them without passing through the governors. Also, the NADCO report has also recommended that they be given a fund directly so that they can be able to work. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking as a senator of Machakos. I've seen these MCAs work with a lot of trouble because they have to sing the songs of the governors. And if they don't sing the song of the governors, then their wards will not be developed, which means them risking their coming back again for re-election. Mr. Speaker, they have to move around with the governors even when they have other things to do, because if they don't, then they are said that they are against the governors. I've come across, Mr. Speaker, some incidences where if an MCA does a statement like we do statements here, or a motion, then they are told that they are fighting the governors. So those bills, those statements are just refused, they are not signed, and they cannot move forward. And the more reason why they cannot even be able to do their oversight work, Mr. Speaker, because they have just to sing the song of the governors. And if they see anything wrong, they cannot even voice it. Why? Because they will be said that they are fighting the governors and their wards will not be developed. So this fund will really empower the MCAs so that they can be able to do development at their ward levels, and they can also now be able to oversight the governors properly because they'll be independent with their own fund, where they are not only relying with the governor. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I've also seen, Mr. Speaker, can you protect me from Senator, he's talking loudly, he's distracting me. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I've seen ward administrators and ward coordinators of the governors launching projects at the ward level when the MCA is not even, does not even know that there is a project being launched in his own county. And that is the person who has been elected by the people to represent them. And they are the people who know what their people want at the ward level. Mr. Speaker, MCAs wake up every morning to find people at their doorsteps coming for school fees, coming for medical bills, money, and many other issues. They are the people we depend on in totality at the ward level. And so if they are given this finance autonomy, it will be very good for them and even for all of us. And Mr. Speaker, if all of them, the 1,450 MCAs get funds to be able to do development at their wards, Mr. Speaker, devolution will make a big, big difference because now they'll do a lot of developments at every ward level without, waiting until the governor have mercy on them and do this project or refuse to do that project. And Mr. Speaker, if you go to the wards, you will find, especially where the governors are not working together with the MCAs, you will find that some people in their wards, they don't have even roads, they have no water, they have nothing, they are just crying and waiting for when maybe God have mercy on them. But I want to thank God for this Senate, because if this bill is implemented, this amendment is implemented, then the MCAs will have money to be able to work, and they'll work peacefully, and they'll have independence also to be able to do what is right at the right time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you very much for this opportunity that you've given to me. I also thank you for coming up with this important bill, which tries to give powers to counties, more so the county assemblies. Honorable Speaker, this is how we really need to empower devolution. I want to thank you so much, and on the onset, I want to support this bill because it brings very important aspects, particularly on the county assembly, where they have been dominated by the executive in the counties. Honorable Speaker, the county assemblies have almost everything. They have the autonomy. They have full-fledged finance departments. County assemblies have officers who are very much trained, competent, knowledgeable, qualified to operate finance departments in their assemblies. County assemblies have units in procurement. County assemblies are also able to have that link of IFMIS. Honorable Speaker, I believe also county assemblies are also connected to payroll, IPPD. This means, Honorable Speaker, if this bill is approved by this Senate and therefore ratified by the National Assembly, we will see a very competent county assembly that has an autonomy to work without any pressure of the executive. Honorable Speaker, the Auditor General will have a chance to audit county assemblies on what they have done. And the control of budget will transfer funds to the right account, and we will be sure as the Senate that the county assembly are dispensing money that ought to be theirs with no diversion of funds. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that there were a few comments and contributions from members on clause 109E. Yes, I believe this is a very contentious clause. We really need to look at it because at the end of it all, we want to have an autonomy of the county assembly so that we don't want to see a scenario where the executive again will have another small chance to control funds. We want to have a direct transfer of funds from the national treasury, from the control of budget, to the county assembly without passing again to the county assembly, county treasury. So I think that is something that we really need to look at it. But all the same, this will try to solve so many problems. Honorable Speaker, the issue of pending bills in the executive, again in the county assembly, is a problem. It's something that has been a big problem. And this bill will try to solve a number of issues, Honorable Speaker, in the county assembly and in the county executive. So, Honorable Speaker, as we look at these clauses clearly, we will see the light, the light at the tunnel. We will see something that will resolve problems of many business people who have been having problems of doing business in counties, and the county government are unable to pay them because of diversion of funds. They do requisitions to the county, to the control of budget, Honorable Speaker, and when the money hits to the account, the priority becomes a different scenario. I believe Senator Ledama has tried to introduce a certain clause, and I am also in support on the same, that we want to see if the control of budget, if we can introduce a clause where the control of budget will also have that right to introduce a certain portal where when the executive or the county assembly requisition the money, there will be another following. We will follow up. They will be able to follow up so that there is the requisition again, the next requisition, they're able to see if that money has gone to the right supplier or a person, to the right person or to the right vote. Honorable Speaker, I think this is a very important bill. I want to believe that the county assemblies has the capacity in human resource to handle these issues, to handle their finances without passing through the county executive. Honorable Speaker, our PAC committees, public accounts committees in the Senate, will also be able to track and find out if the county assemblies are using their money at the right voting. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to stop there, but I want to support this, and thank you so much for bringing up this important bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Let's start with the Senator Mwaruma we test the 5 minutes.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa hii fursa ili kuchangia huu mjadala ambao ni mjadala muhimu sana wa kupatia mabunge ya county uhuru wao. Kumekuwa na huu mjadala ya kwamba mabunge hayawezi kutimiza majukumu yao ambayo ni uangalizi, kutunga sheria na uwakilishaji vizuri kwa sababu hawana ile autonomy ama hawana uhuru wao. Mheshimiwa Spika, nakushukuru kwa sababu ya hekima yako na ubunifu wako wa utunzi wa sheria na kuona ya kwamba tukibadilisha hii sheria ya Public Finance Management Act, basi mabunge ya county yanaweza kupata uhuru wao. Mheshimiwa Spika, pesa nyingi zinaenda kwa magatuzi, na bila kuwa na mabunge ya magatuzi ambayo yanafanya kazi vizuri, basi zile pesa nyingi zinapotea na wananchi kule nyanjani hawapati maendeleo ipasavyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, mwaka wa 2010 tulijipatia katiba ambayo ilileta ugatuzi, na ugatuzi ilimaanisha kwamba pesa itoke Nairobi na iende mashinani. Lakini tumeona ya kwamba magavana wamenyanyasa ama wameendelea kunyanyasa mabunge ya county. Kwa mfano mwaka wa 2021 nilikuwa katika kamati ya uhasibu ya Senate. Mabunge mengine bado yalikuwa hayalipi mishahara moja kwa moja, walikuwa nalipwa na executive. Mheshimiwa Speaker, pia kwa mabunge yetu kupata pesa zao inabidi mpaka waziri wa fedha aandikie control of budget ili awachilie zile pesa. Na mabunge yetu yameendelea kupata shida ya kifedha ama kupata fedha ili kufadhili miradi yao na mipango yao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kuna jambo pia lilitokea mwaka 2021 hapo ya kwamba unapata bunge limetengeneza makaratasi yake ya pending bills, lakini upande wa serikali ama waziri wa fedha wa executive hawajatengeneza makaratasi yao ya kuregesha kwa control of budget ili pesa irudi. So unapata ya kwamba mabunge ya county yanachelewa kupata pesa kwa sababu wanacheleweshwa na ule upande wa serikali ama executive, ambapo kama wangekuwa na huo uhuru wao, basi pesa zao hazingechelewa kufika kwa mabunge ya county. Mheshimiwa Speaker, jambo lingine ambalo linafaa kutokea ama kupeana, litasaidia kupeana uhuru wa county assemblies ni kwamba saa zingine pesa zinachelewa kuingia kwa county ama hazina ya kitaifa inachelewa kutoa pesa, na inabidi county zikope pesa kutoka kwa mabenki. Sasa county assemblies ama mabunge yetu ya county hayajapewa uhuru wa kukopa kutoka kwa mabenki ili kulipa wafanyikazi wao bila kupitia kwa waziri wa fedha. Lakini Mheshimiwa Speaker, county assemblies zikishapata uhuru wao, wakati hazina ya kitaifa imechelewa kutoa pesa, basi mabunge ya county yatakuwa na huo uwezo wa kukopa pesa moja kwa moja kutoka kwa mabenki ili kulipa mshahara yao na kuendelea na kazi zao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nimekuwa naongea kila wakati na ninasema kuna mambo mawili yanatakikana kufanyika ili mabunge ya county yafanye kazi vizuri. Ya kwanza ni wawe na hazina yao ndogo, na katika huu mswada wako Mheshimiwa Speaker umesema kando na hazina ya county ama CRF account kuwe na hazina ndogo ya assembly ambayo itawekewa pesa ili assembly zitumie pesa yao moja kwa moja. Lakini Mheshimiwa Speaker, hata wakiwa na ile pesa kwa assembly, bado gavana akiamua kutopeana maendeleo kwa ward anaweza kataa bado kupeana maendeleo katika ward. Kwa hivyo hata jambo lingine tukishapitisha huu mswada, ule mswada mwingine ambao lazima tuangalie kwa ukaribu ni ule mswada wa fedha za ward ama ward equalization fund ama ward fund. Ili pesa ikifika kwa magatuzi, kila ward igawanyiwe pesa zake na wapate kufanya maendeleo yao. Vile ilivyo saizi Mheshimiwa Speaker ni kwamba gavana anaweza amua kama mwakilishi ward ama MCA haimbi wimbo wake, basi haezi peleka maendeleo kwa hiyo ward ili wananchi wakasirike na yeye na wamnyime kura katika uchaguzi unaofuatia. Kwa hivyo haya mambo mawili yakishafanyika, kupatia county assemblies uhuru wao, na pia ile mswada mwingine ambao katika hii nyumba wa kupatia uhuru ama kufanya ward development fund utapelekea wajumbe wetu kufanya kazi vizuri zaidi. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii 109E, kuna msemaji amesema kwamba si vizuri kuachia waziri bado atoe pesa katika hazina ya kaunti. Lakini natofautiana na yeye kidogo, kwa sababu katika hazina ya kitaifa waziri wa fedha ndiye anayepiga sahihi ili pesa zitoke na ziende kwa mahakama, ziende kwa bunge na ziende kwa taasisi mbalimbali. Kwa hivyo pia kule kwa hazina ya assembly ni hazina ya county ama CRF account, ni vizuri waziri pia apewe nafasi atoe pesa nyingine iende kwa county assembly na pesa nyingine iende kwa kwa executive na nyingine iende kwa zile fund tofauti, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Kwa hivyo naunga mkono moja kwa moja huu mswada wa kuhakikisha kwamba mabunge yetu ya county yamepatiwa nguvu za kufanya kazi. La mwisho kabisa,
Mtamwaruma zile dakika zako 5 zimefika na
zimeyoma, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Wacha nimalizie kwa kusema ya kwamba hata wakati tunapatia wajumbe ile ward fund, ni vyema tuwe na ile mchakato wa kusema kwamba magavana ndio wanaofanya miradi na MCAs kazi yao ni uangalizi. Maanake saizi hakuna tofauti ya MCA na waziri, unapata MCAs wao pia wanafanya miradi. Ni vile katika bunge la kitaifa unapata wabunge wanafanya miradi ya CDF moja kwa moja. Sasa katika ile separation of powers, Mheshimiwa Speaker, inatakana pia wajumbe wafanye kazi yao ya oversight ili gavana naye afanye kazi yake ya utekelezaji wa miradi. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwa sababu ya muda na wengine wanataka kuongea, naomba kuachia hapo na kuunga mkono mswada. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Senator Karungo Wadangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. From the onset, I was trying to see what the bill is trying to cure. And Mr. Speaker, you know I'm a former MCA, so at least I understand, having experienced some of these problems we are supposed to cure. When you're bringing the autonomy or the independence of the county assembly, the problem is not spending. The problem is how they get the money to the assembly's account, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when we create the fund, which of course was there under the County Assembly Services Act, and it has never been utilized before, but if we create the fund, Mr. Speaker, how will this fund be getting their monies, Mr. Speaker? Because the issue is not the assembly utilizing the money, is how the money comes to the fund. Initially, or what happens today, if the assembly wants their money, they do a requisition to the county treasury, who is a CEC of finance in a county. Then the CEC of that county will forward that requisition to the COB for that money to come to the county assembly. Now, here is the catch. When they write to the CEC or the chief finance officer, they delay from forwarding the same to the COB, Mr. Speaker. So that is the problem right there. If we do not cure that part, then even this one, Mr. Speaker, will also have the same problem. Because they'll be writing to the Treasury is not forwarding to the COB. And then after that, once the COB brings money to the county assembly and takes it to the fund, again we are asking COB to approve the use of these funds, Mr. Speaker. That is wrong. The autonomy or the independence we are giving the county assembly, we are now giving it to COB, Mr. Speaker. So I think I will be bringing an amendment to make sure that we give the county clerk the power to do requisition direct to COB, not necessarily through the county treasury. Because the county treasury, Mr. Speaker, they have already done the budget. Why do we tell the county assembly to write to the county CEC asking for money, yet they already know how much money they passed in their budget. They should write directly to the to COB so that that money now can be sent to the fund. Mr. Speaker, if we do that, now we cure what you are trying to achieve with this bill. And then after we bring the money to the county assembly fund, then we remove COB again from them approving every spending, Mr. Speaker. Why am I saying that? I believe this county assembly fund is almost the same as bursary fund, is almost the same emergency fund, hospital fund, whereby once you put the money in that fund, the person who is given the authority to spend is the administrator, and the administrator is the clerk, and the clerk is going to be giving quarterly reports on how they spend the money for the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. So I believe I'll be bringing that amendment to make this law now complete, because you have really captured most of the things that the county assembly members have been crying about. But now once we give the clerk the autonomy of writing to the COB directly, then we complete the circuit, Mr. Speaker. I thank you and I support.
Thank you very much. I wanted to give some further guidance that I can see I have several senators, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Tabitha 5th. We have a very few minutes. I wanted to give the minority Rinda, and then the rest can speak tomorrow and utilize the 20 minutes that you have. So minority Rinda. Point of order to your minority, to your Rinda.
Speaker, I think there is a serious problem with this system, because I came here at 2:30 and I pressed my button. Then I realized later that it was not reflecting there. It is not fair that a member comes in here, sits all this time, and he cannot be given a chance to speak because of the system.
Senator,
you need to do something about this
system.
issue.
The issue is the system, you remember? You know, we have discussed about this system for quite some time. Maybe the management is looking into it so that they can change this system completely. So sorry for that, but you have an opportunity next time. So, minority Rinda?
Asante sana mstahiki Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii mimi pia kuweza kuchangia. Mstahiki Spika, kitu cha kwanza nataka kutoa kongole kwako wewe, kwa sababu wewe ndio uliyefananua hii bill ama huu mswada wa sheria za pesa ya umma unaokwenda katika county. Na sheria hii ya 23, mimi naona kwamba hii sheria imekuja 23 na tuko 24. Mheshimiwa Spika, ingekuwa uliketia 22, ingekuwa ilipatia mwelekeo mzuri, lakini hatujachelewa. Barabara iko wazi na tutaendelea hivyo hivyo. Kitu cha kwanza, Bwana Spika, hii sheria hizi zitaweza kusaidia bunge sana. Bwana Spika, tunaona kwamba mara nyingi wale wahudumu, wale wabunge wa mabunge yetu ya county zote 47, ma MCAs, mara nyingi wao ndio wanakuwa wa kwanza kukumbana na zile shida za wananchi. Wakienda kwao nyumbani, wakienda maofisini kwao, wakiwapata barabarani, wao ndio wanakuwa watu wa kwanza kuweza kutekeleza zile shida. Bwana Spika, ni kibarua kigumu sana kuona kwamba hata mapato ya MCAs pia ni madogo. Kwa hiyo kuzoroteshwa ama kutokwenda kwa zile pesa katika county wakati unotakana ama kwa muda unaowezekana, huwa mara nyingi kunakuwa na shida, kwa sababu wale wanakuwa hawana la kufanya. Bwana Spika, mimi naona vizuri sana kwamba mswada kama huu umeweza kupatikana hivi leo. utaweza kufanya mabunge yetu ya county sasa kuwa huru. Na Bwana Spika, utaona kwamba mabunge yakiwa huru, pia utaona mijadala mingi itakayoletwa katika yale mabunge yetu ya county yatakuwa mijadala ambayo itakuwa na maana sana, kwa sababu mara nyingi utapata ya kwamba wale viongozi ama waheshimiwa MCAs mara nyingi wanaweza kuwa wanaogopa kuongea ama hawawezi kuongea, kwa sababu wanafikiria kwamba wakiongea hivi ama wakiongea vile kunaweza kuchukuliwa na hatua na serikali zao za county. Lakini mimi nataka kuwapatia imani ya kwamba sasa sheria hivi karibuni inaweza kupatikana ya kwamba itakuwa wana uwezo kuwa huru kuongea vile wanavyofikiria ama vile wanavyotaka, na wakiona kama kuna makosa ama wanaweza kukosoa hata ikiwa kuna makosa. Bwana Speaker, kwa kumalizia, Bwana Speaker, tunaona kwamba kitita cha senti kama hichi ambacho kitakwenda katika county, tumefanya vizuri sana kumweka yule kiongozi ama mkurugenzi wa hii budget, yule ambayo sisi tunamuita kama controller of budget, kwamba yeye atakuwa na uwezo wa kukagua pesa zote za benki ama pesa zote ambazo zitakuwa ndani ya bunge la county, na kwamba anaweza kuona ya kwamba kama kutakuwa na makosa anaweza kusema, ama kama kutakuwa na kitu chochote ambacho hakiendi sawa anaweza kusema. Bwana Speaker, pesa kama hizi ni pesa ambazo zitakuwa zinasaidia watu katika serikali zao za mashinani, na pesa hizi zitataka uangalizi wa kina kuona ya kwamba kila pesa inayotumika inatumika kulingana na sheria, na pia vile vile inatumika inaangaliwa na yule mkurugenzi ama controller wa hizi budget. Kwa hiyo mimi naona kwamba sheria kama hiyo ikiwa iko, hilo litakuwa ni jambo la kufaa zaidi. Nataka kukomea hapo Bwana Speaker, nikisema asante sana kwa kunipa nafasi hii.
Asante kiongozi wa wachache. Senator Veronica Waheti.
Honorable Speaker, let me first thank you for bringing this bill. It is most timely and much needed, and I believe it has been delayed. It should have even come earlier, because for the longest time I have met with the members of county assembly, and from many counties they have decried how difficult it is for them to perform their function of oversight because of the way they have to keep begging governors to be able to be funded for activities and to balance their function of oversight vis-a-vis the need for them to be supported by the respective counties. So this amendment, Honorable Speaker, will set our county assemblies free. It will set them free from being tagged to the governors whom they are supposed to oversight, Honorable Speaker. And it will set Kenyans free from having to watch devolved funds being used in a very corrupt manner, and people watching helplessly, including the first line of defense, the first line of oversight, which is supposed to be done by the county assemblies. So it definitely speaks into better management of resources at the county level. And it delivers autonomy to the operations of county assemblies from the executive within the counties, Honorable Speaker. I have looked at the amendments proposed under section 1, 2, 3, and it definitely introduces the fund, the concept of the fund, or the structure of the fund. And I like what is contained in the section 6 of the amendment bill, the one that amends section 109A, introducing the county assembly fund. Looking at the sources of where this fund will come from, it is such monies as may be appropriated by the county assembly from the county revenue fund established for each county. And there is the second source, which is any grants, gifts, donation, or bequests. Honorable Speaker, if you may recall the structure and some of the amendments that we've been discussing in this House regarding donations and gifts and bequests taken to the counties, it now opens an avenue that a county can receive beyond the exchequer from the national government, and it can receive beyond, this fund can receive donations and gifts beyond what is being given or what is being earned from the own source revenue. And it has also given an avenue, Honorable Speaker, that in this fund, such monies as may be allocated from that purpose from investments, fees, or levies administered by the county. In other words, this fund has structured what is being earned, the own source revenue, which is being earned within the counties, as a fund that can then be utilized for purpose for which this fund is set. So, Honorable Speaker, I believe this amendment is a very big boost to devolution, but it calls for heavy responsibility on the county assemblies, because to whoever much is given, much will also be demanded. Because as we ensure that devolution is being supported from the grassroots, Honorable Speaker, it then means that the members of the county assembly must be in a position to safeguard those resources that are being devolved further to where the people are. The purpose of this fund ultimately is to deliver services to the people, Honorable Speaker. So I believe what you have done today, all the MCAs from all the wards in the Republic of Kenya and the county assemblies should celebrate tonight because of this bill, and especially when it is passed. And Mr. Speaker, because we know there are some counties where it has been very difficult for even county assemblies to discuss any impeachment of governors for misuse of resources or for misallocation of resources, Honorable Speaker, I believe once the county assemblies now have this fund, there is no more reason why we should be watching billions being carted away from counties. And instead of seeing development in the counties, we are seeing private entities being grown by individuals who are serving in public offices, Honorable Speaker. So I want to urge the county assemblies today, because they have been granted what they have been crying for, would they take this opportunity to ensure that the development we have lacked within the counties which have received billions, Honorable Speaker, and there is not even a single hospital, even for the people, Honorable Speaker. Counties have received billions. There is nothing done in agriculture.
Veronica, my good friend, you have a balance of 14 minutes next time the motion is allocated time. We were to adjourn at 5:30. And standing under that 7, and I now call upon Senator Henry Okech to move his motion, pursuant to standing under that 7, to discuss a matter of national importance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. And also note that we have 10 minutes.
Yes.
And any other senator speaking, 5 minutes, including the seconder.
The seconder.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very hard motion to move. It is a very hard one because matters femicide.
You first. I'm just reading the.
I'm gonna go.
Then you will give the state the issues that you have.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. As I say, this is a sensitive motion to move, and just as I said, that this is pursuant to Standing Order number 37, and that the Senate do now adjourn as had requested to discuss a definite matter of urgent national importance, namely the rising case of violent murder in the country, mainly targeting young women and girls. The most recent, Mr. Speaker, being the murder of 3 women in Isili on 22nd October, which is actually the time that they were discovered, but they disappeared on 21st October 2024. And that is Dahabo Dawood Said, Amina Abdi Rashid Dahir, and Nuseiba
Abdi Mohammed, and a 23-year-old girl, Miss Seth Njeri Nyakio, in Thika, Kiambu County on 14th October 2024. Mr. Speaker, as I said, this is a very hard motion to move because it breaks my heart. Mr. Speaker, the young lady, to start with, Seth Nyakio Njeri, the 23-year-old young lady, Mr. Speaker, had just graduated from Zetech University, Mr. Speaker. And if you look at journalistic conversation and the news that we have been receiving, Mr. Speaker, is that she was also the daughter of Lucy Njeri, who is actually an MCA in Kirinyaga. Somebody that you would think that because of her position in the society, our own family would not experience such a brutal murder of our own daughter. And Mr. Speaker, before I even go further, let me just take this opportunity to pass my deepest condolences to the family of Lucy Njeri and to the family of Dahabo Dawood Said for this extreme pain and extreme stress and untold suffering that those families have gone through, the experience of such losses in our borders, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, as I say this, Mr. Speaker, it is even sadder to hear the story of Dahabo Dawood Said in Isili, Mr. Speaker. This is a wonderful woman and a lady who was killed alongside our own daughter and her niece. Mr. Speaker, when these stories are told, Mr. Speaker, it's very difficult to know the truth because of the laxity and the lack of proper intelligence shared with the public and even shared with families, Mr. Speaker. But I went to Isili, Mr. Speaker, the other day, just to try and understand really what happened. And Mr. Speaker, while this might not be, a confirmed story, but one of the conversations that I had was that this is a lady who went to a mall in the evening. The daughter and the niece were actually in the house. And then the story is told of how perhaps the daughter and the niece went to pick her from the mall, which in my own humble deduction could be that their killers might have lured them, having got the hold of the mother and then got hold of all of them. And Mr. Speaker, it's very sad because you hear that after they were killed, Mr. Speaker, their body parts were found in very different locations, Mr. Speaker. The body of Dahabo was found in Machakos, Mr. Speaker, picked from Isili, driven, or whichever means that was used, taken through the trauma of passing different places, Mr. Speaker, and found in Machakos, mutilated without a head. Mr. Speaker, the body of the daughter, I think, is then found in Bahati, in Makadara, Mr. Speaker. Then the body of the niece, Mr. Speaker, is then found in 6th Avenue in Parklands, Mr. Speaker. The images of how far apart these bodies are found, having been lured all of them together, Mr. Speaker, begs the question of, do we really have a country? Do we really have a country when a whole family can be picked by murderers, killed in different locations, and their bodies mutilated and put in different locations, Mr. Speaker? The distance from Nairobi to Machakos, the distance from Isili to Makadara, the distance from Isili to Parklands, begs the question of what happened to surveillance in this country and what happens to policing and monitoring in this country that can be able to guarantee our people security, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, this is a bit of domestic violence that has escalated to the point that it is no longer just a domestic violence issue on women, but also porosity in terms of security that has now come to the point that we can see a country taking killing of women and killing of people as a pleasurable thing, Mr. Speaker, or Madam Speaker now. The killing of women in this country is becoming a pleasurable thing because we do not see equal response in terms of the rule of law on killers such as this. And my fear, Madam Speaker, is that if we allow this to continue, then we see it now extending to all genders, Madam Speaker. Recently in Siaya, Madam Speaker, a very well-established gentleman, Willis Ayeko, was found dead, killed in the same brutal manner that we see with the killing of women in this country. And the worst thing is that the security infrastructure ends only at giving simple journalistic updates on simple accounts and leaving it as a situation whereby we will be able to do further investigations so that these murders ends at conversations by authorities on a hope of further investigations to be done, Madam Speaker. I think, because of pressure of time, Madam Speaker, that this House must take the issue of this femicide very seriously. We did a serious resolution in this House on police abductions. We did a serious resolution in this House in the wake of Gen Zs on brutal murders that are going on by the police. I think this House must also do a serious motion and a resolution on actions that must be taken to be able to make sure that this country ends and puts an end to these brutal murders that we see in our country, Madam Speaker. It cannot be that we keep on being comfortable, and I don't know whether we are comfortable as a country because it doesn't reach our own homes. I'm imagining the pain and agony that families such as this end up having, Madam Speaker, because I think that this brings untold trauma and stigma to these families that they can never be able to recover from. Is it that the people who are in power today, starting from the presidency, coming to the security infrastructure, the IG of police, is it that these things look normal because they're not in their families? Madam Speaker, I want to beg this House that as a House of Senate that has shown very serious resolve on dealing with issues of national importance such as this, dealing with crises such as this, Madam Speaker, that we must come to the rescue of the nation and do a serious resolution of the House that can demand of our security infrastructure to put an end to this problem. Even if it means that we're going to put maximum surveillance in communities, Madam Speaker, I hope that the Senate can come to the rescue of these families. And therefore, I beg to move this motion, Madam Speaker, and would want to hear the insight of my colleague senators, and therefore request the wonderful Senator Hamida to second this motion. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Eddy. Senator Hamida, you may take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank, as I support, I want to echo Senator Eddy, and also appreciate the motion that he has brought forward, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the recent wave of bizarre abductions is really gruesome, painful, May I proceed? It's really, the abductions, Madam Speaker, has really been gruesome murders and have really swept across the nation. It is really disturbing, and it's indeed a matter of urgency for us to discuss, Madam Speaker. In the past weeks, we learned about the horrific deaths, the same what Senator Eddie has said about the 3 women, Madam Waris Daoud and her daughter, Nasiba, and her cousin, her daughter Nasiba, yes, and her niece Amina. It has really we have really tried to console or to condole with the families. Madam Speaker, we have seen recent, and we keep on wondering why the women, why women and why will they go through that pain, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, it's also an opportunity for me to condole and also I'm also grieving about my neighbor, Willis. Willis Onyango Ayeko is my neighbor, and his wife is my friend, Esther Ayeko. Madam Speaker, it's always painful going to their place every evening, looking at her and the grief that she's going through. Madam Speaker, I think Ayeko has made, he's always on social media, so you can imagine the trauma the kids go through every day. So I remember last night, Esther was really struggling for her kids not to come downstairs to watch TV. Imagine they were supposed to be together. Esther was supposed to be with her husband, and the husband had just gone for a burial that we all know one of our friends had lost the mother, Agina. And after leaving the Matanga place, so he had to travel. He was traveling. He was going to travel elsewhere. And there he was, So the next day, everyone knew that, he had already reached his destination. And the next day, they started calling and looking for Willis. Then later on, of course, we realized whatever happened. So the mutilated body, you can imagine, actually, it is, Madam Speaker, whenever, I discuss about Willis, it's so painful. He was such a humble neighbor and a good friend. And they mutilated the body in pieces, that it was so inhuman. These victims, seriously, Madam Speaker, like in recent months, have endured an imaginable suffering, with the bodies bearing signs of the brutal torture, Madam Speaker. The trend is not just tragic, Madam Speaker, but then painful to the family, and also a reflection of an escalating crisis in our society, Madam Speaker. In October alone, over 20 murders have been realized, documented across the country, just in October. So I feel strongly that this number alone, it is a concern, but then with the sheer brutality, Madam Speaker, with which crimes are committed, and no suspects have been, apprehended so far. So how are we expected to explain to our communities, to our families, and they look up to us, for that support and maybe protection? How are we going to explain to them, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, I must underscore that this alarming reality within right now in our society, the law enforcement agencies are falling short in providing safety and justice to our citizens, Madam Speaker. Moreover, the law enforcement agencies must work to rebuild with the committees they serve. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, my time is up. let's take a moment to acknowledge the pain and suffering of the families that have lost their lives, Madam Speaker. I was surprised when I asked the DCI the other day when you were at JLAC, what are you doing so far? An MCA they found a mutilated body after 1.5 months. And when I asked Madam Speaker about the MCA, they said, oh, until now they're not sure because they are unable to do the DNA. Imagine matching the body of the deceased. So how painful is that, Madam Speaker? This is an MCA. An MCA at least needed, to be protected, and that's a leader. So it's unfortunate that even the DCI, the DPP, and the rest cannot explain the murders that are going on, Madam Speaker. This one, we condemn the brutality, Madam Speaker. And this, the culprits have to be brought to book, Madam Speaker. It is, seriously, it is painful to all our communities. You can imagine the Willis story. It's all over news every day. And until now, we are just being told stories, and also the family cannot lay him to rest until the investigation is complete. So it's unfortunate, Madam Speaker, that the country is going through this. Seriously, where are we heading? To the dogs? I'm saying it with bitterness, Madam Speaker. 20 lives have been lost within 1 month, Madam Speaker, and nothing has come front. No explanation so far has come front for Kenyans to understand why this.
Thank you, Senator Hamida. Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order 37, the Senate do adjourn to discuss a definite matter of urgent national importance, namely the rising cases of violent murder in the country, mainly targeting young women and girls, the most recent being the murder of 3 young women in Isli on 22nd October 2024, Dahabo Daud Said, Amina Abdi Rashid Dahil, and Nasieba Abdi Muhammad, and a 23-year-old Ms. Seth Nyakeo in Thika, Kiambu County on 14th October 2024. The motion is now open for contribution by senators. I call upon Senator Keroche Tabitha, Nakuru County, to contribute.
Madam Speaker, sir, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this motion.
Senator Tabitha, is it possible for Madam Speaker, sir, to be in the same sentence?
My apologies, Madam Speaker.
You have to choose one.
Madam Speaker, my apologies. So, Madam Speaker, Madam, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this motion. And I want to thank Senator Eddy for bringing up this motion. I want to take this opportunity and condemn the adoption that is happening in this country, and the femicide murders that are happening in this country. It is sad that we have security in place, and we seem to be helpless. We look up like this, we are helpless when murders of our young girls is happening in this country. I want to take this opportunity and send my sincere condolence to all the families, parents that have lost their loved ones. I know how painful it is, and especially losing a young person whose future was very bright, because you can look at all these children, they were all in their universities, and you can look at them, they look very bright children. We really want to ask our security to save us from the tortures that the parents and the families are going through. Even the process of finding the justice for those children is a torture. So why would we as a country just sit there so helplessly and take allow such crimes to happen in our own country when we have the capacity to arrest such heinous or such murders? So for me, is just, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, sir, is to urge our government, the one we elected with a lot of love, to ensure that they can look and see what is not happening in our security system, so that if we have the wrong people in the security system, to remove them. Because there is no way we can allow parents. We've seen them in the national television. We've seen the murders that is happening in this country. And I look at them, and I feel for them, and I wonder, even the process for them even to try and start looking for the justice for their children, how it tortures somebody. And what we can only pray for is to pray to God to give them strength so that they can be able to fight for their justices. Because even in the courts, trying to go to the courts to look for the justices, that is what I know. It is the most tedious process that a parent can go through or a family member can be taken to. So ours is only, how can it be prevented? I don't think there is much that we as senators we can ask, is on how it can be prevented. We cannot sit down now here and watch when such murders is happening to our children and we just continue allowing this. I think we as women, it will come a point now where we'll lay down our tools and say, now I think we need to stand for the rights for women, and especially our young women, who we know, when we see that the whatever we are looking at.
You'll have 1 minute. I know you've gone through a hard experience on this one.
Yes.
Just finish.
Yes. I know, we know how hard it is for even a woman to rise to a certain, to a higher level. So when we see our young women being killed like this, it is like we are trying to cut we are trying to show that women cannot reach to a certain level. Because we are not seeing many other people, the side of the boys, we don't see them go. We're not saying that they should be dying, but we are not seeing them being killed like the way we are seeing the girls are being killed. It is frightening and it is shocking, and we are not stand again as women leaders and watch when this thing is happening. It is frightening, it is sad, and I can tell you for free, for sure, that those parents, what they are going through and what they are to go through to get rid of or even to forget what they have been tortured to, it will take a long time. And even it will damage the progress of those.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Senator Montet Betty.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to first pass my condolences to the families of who lately have lost their loved ones. Surely it's painful. What we hear, the stories we are getting, like what Senator Sifuna said today, that it was really very difficult to watch the bodies of those ladies who were murdered just very recently. That was Madam Wario, the daughter Amina, and the niece. I want to pass my condolences to the family. This must be a very difficult time. Recently, also, a nominated MC from Kirinyaga lost her daughter, Madam Njeri lost her daughter Seth, and also what is in the news lately, the murder of the Wells Fargo HR boss, Willis. I pass my condolences to the families. May their souls rest in peace. Madam Speaker, I think this is something which the whole nation has to tackle. I believe as much as these people are criminals, these are issues which maybe churches and mosques should be encouraged to talk about, so that Kenyans can also now try and have some sense and some respect for life. Because even the way the murders are being carried, it is so saddening, because it's where human beings have become animals, that they don't value life anymore. What we are seeing every day. In fact, I wonder how many other murders are not being highlighted in the news, because what we see is what comes to the news, but I'm sure there are many others which are happening, which are not highlighted, that maybe even the family members have never come to know that their loved ones have been murdered or they've been killed, because the kind of life we live in Nairobi, you find most of people live on their own and their families maybe are far away. So sometimes by the time you come to realize that your kin is missing, it could take time. So, Madam Speaker, this is an issue as the police should be told that they have to up the game. I think also the society should be something we should have a discussion as a society in this nation, because this thing is now getting out of hand. Every day, every week, what we hear, sometimes back, I had a senator say that it's so disheartening to watch news, because anytime you are watching news on our local televisions, all what you see is murders here and there, that a body was found, somebody has been murdered, somebody is missing, somebody has been abducted, and then by the time they are found, they are dead. So this is an issue of national importance, something which should be discussed in all sectors by all the arms of government. Let's come together. Let's see what is happening. Let's see what we can do to improve. Whether it is the police, let's discuss and see what can be done. If it is the justice arm, let us see whether these cases which come up of those people who are killing or the murderers when they are caught, these cases can really be hastened so that people can be deterred, or they know that if you are caught, you're going to be caught and very soon your time is going to be up. So, Madam Speaker, what I would say is it's a matter of national importance. I want to thank the senator who has brought up this matter, and I want to urge that let us not stop it here. Let us put it out there to the nation. Let it be a discussion that we all hold and see what we can do to avoid and also to prevent this killing. I know they're taking care of young girls and women because we are weaker, but Madam Speaker, if people know that wherever you are, let's say like the Isili murder, the way it was committed, if people know that there are CCTVs all over, that whatever you do, you'll be followed and it will be a matter of time before they catch up with you, then I'm sure these murders are going to reduce. Because what is happening is not interesting at all. It's sad for our nation, it's sad for us women, and it's very disheartening as a nation. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, thank you, Senator. Senator Abbas Sheikh Mohammed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think I want to thank Senator Eddy for bringing this issue, because this is actually a matter, very weighty, that needs attention of everybody in this country. Honorable Speaker, of late, Kenya is experiencing a wave of murders and abductions and arbitrary arrests. It is now become difficult. Who is doing this kind of business? Is it the government? Agents of the government of security? Is it the thugs? This country has Kenyans have been very, very kind. You know, we are surrounded by many countries that have a lot of security issues. They have fallen governments all over. There are no proper government. And many people have found their way to Kenya. And they are able to access our identity cards, our passports, own properties. And nobody has even vetted these guys. We have all the criminals coming to this country, the money launderers coming to this country, murderers coming to this country, rapists coming to this country. Therefore, we're not even able to know who is safe today and tomorrow. We will not know who is the next person. Speaker, I want first and foremost again to condole all Kenyans who lost their loved ones, especially the family of Dawood and the kids, Dawood and Dawood and kids. Honorable Speaker, you know, last time when there was that demonstrations, many Kenyans lost their life. And up to date, they have not been accounted for. So many young men and women, Kenyans, who just wanted to demonstrate, lost their lives. They have not been accounted for. They have been, I don't know where they've been held or they're dead. I have lost one MCA elected, the minority leader of OJ Assembly. Today, there is no communication. You have gone anywhere? Last time we rushed to OJ, we were told that the body that was found, and this is the man, that body was mutilated, my friend. You know, you kill somebody and then you start cutting into pieces. It doesn't make sense. Even the criminal has to be listened. The criminal has a right to be represented. The criminal has a right to court. But you kill somebody, even this lady, her body was mutilated. She was killed. The young girl was raped. And again, the limbs have been cut. So, what's happened? We don't even know what's happened in this country. Because the criminals are hiding. Because, you know, if we have arbitrary arrest of people, abductions, extrajudicial killing, then you don't know who is the criminal and who is the government representative or the agents. So I think it's a high time Kenyans must stand up and wake up and say enough is enough now. We must be able to separate Kenyans from the criminals. We must live in peace. We must do our business without fear. We must be able to, vet. You see, the taxi driver, the guy who killed these ladies, Keradabo, was somebody close to them. He was known to these ladies. Criminal. And according to the story going around, he's been a criminal. He has killed many other people in the past. I don't know where he came from. That shows that guy might be, he was owning a temporary driving license. He could be honored an ID. He could be honored a passport. But he's a criminal that you are aiding to become a Kenyan citizen. So I think the high time that corruption has spoiled this country. So we need to move and say enough is enough. Madam Speaker, one other thing is, I think the social media should also be censored. The TikToks and the likes. Because this is why the criminals are learning from a lot of funny things. Because what is happening today is not normal. The murders and killings, raping. Again, every other day you see in the papers, somebody had been found, part of the body has been found. I think this has not been part of Kenya's life. And therefore, Honorable Madam Speaker, the loss of Dawood and her daughter, Nasibo, and her niece, Amina Abdurrashid, and the rest of Kenyans who are missing is actually unacceptable. And I will request the respective, this country has actually the most learned and most intelligent security officers. Kenyan security officers, our intelligence.
Time up, Senator Bass, Senator Sifuna Edwin Watenya, Senator Nairobi County.
Na asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwanza nianze kwa kusema kwamba sisi haswa wakazi wa Nairobi tunazidi kutamaushwa sana na matukio haya, kwa sababu ukiangalia vingi vya visa hivi vimetendeka katika kaunti ya Nairobi na vimewahusu wakaazi wa Nairobi. Mheshimiwa Speaker, huyu dada anaitwa Waris Daud pamoja na mwanaye anaitwa Amina na mpwa wake ambaye anaitwa Nuseiba, wote walikuwa ni wakazi wa Nairobi. Willy Sayeko na yeye pia alikuwa ni mkazi wa Nairobi. Seneta Hamida ametudhibitishia kwamba alikuwa ni jirani yake. Ni huyu Mumbua tu, yule dereva wa taxi ambaye alichukuliwa kutoka Mombasa na kuuawa katika eneo la ama mwili wake kupatikana katika eneo la Nakuru. Yule dada mdogo alikuwa anaitwa Nyakio, yeye naye ameuawa katika maeneo ya Thika. Alafu Mheshimiwa Speaker, juzi tu kuna dada mmoja ambaye anaitwa Lilian Muhavi ambaye naye alipatikana amenyongwa na mwili wake kurushwa katika barabara ya Naivasha hapa jijini Nairobi sehemu za Kawangware. Kuna dada mwingine ambaye anaitwa Vivian Kajaya na yeye pia ni mkaazi wa Nairobi, ile sehemu ya Kawangware. Mwili wake ulipatikana umetupwa kule Nakuru baada ya kuuawa. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Speaker, ninavyokuhesabia visa hivi kwa majuma machache ambayo yamepita, hawa ni wanadamu zaidi ya 8 ambao wamepatikana na ni wale ambao wameripotiwa katika vyombo vya habari. Hatujui wengine ambao labda kesi zao hazija angaziwa sana na vyombo vya habari. Lakini kinachoonyesha ni kwamba kuna magenge ama kuna genge la watu ambao wana huu uwezo wa kuweza kumchukua mtu kutoka kwenye barabara tu za Nairobi hapa, mji wa Nairobi, na kuweza kumtendea unyama ambao tumeona dada zetu hawa na ndugu zetu hawa wakitendewa. Hata huyu MCA wa Wajir ambaye anaitwa Yusuf Hussein Abdi, na yeye alichukuliwa katika barabara za Nairobi. Kwa hivyo sisi kama viongozi wa Nairobi, tutazidi kusisitiza kwamba asasi zetu za usalama lazima ziwajibike ili kutoa majibu kwa familia hizi na pia kwa wakazi wote wa Nairobi kwamba kuna usalama wa kutosha ili kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba watu wanaishi kwa amani. Mheshimiwa Speaker, unajua tulipozungumzia swala hili mapema leo adhuhuri, kuna wale dada zetu ambao walikuwa wanatoa pingamizi ya kwamba labda tunasema si swala la kina mama pekee kuuawa. Kusema kweli, unapoangalia takwimu hizi zinaonyesha kwamba wengi wa wale ambao wameathiriwa na hivi visa ni kina mama, hatukatai. Lakini mimi ninavyoamini ni kwamba hakuna aliye salama hadi sisi sote tuwe salama. Na ndio kwa maana wakati ambapo nimepata fursa ya kuketi na huyu Inspector General mpya wa polisi Douglas Kanja, wengine wakaniuliza mbona sikuwa nakaa na Koome. Mimi mnajua uhusiano wangu na aliyekuwa Inspector General wa polisi Koome. Koome alikuwa ananiandama kama mnyama. Mimi pamoja na kiongozi wa walio wachache hapa, Mheshimiwa Stuart Mazayo, tumeona kifo na macho yetu sisi wenyewe chini ya mkono ya Koome. Haingewezekana mimi kufika kwenye afisi ya Koome, na nafurahi kwamba Koome alituondokea. Huyu ndugu yetu Douglas Kanja na yeye tunaomba kwamba awe tofauti na Koome, kwa sababu serikali hii iliahidi kwamba chini ya uongozi wa Daktari William Ruto haya matukio yatakuwa matukio ya pale nyuma. Tulikuweko kule Vihiga na Mheshimiwa Soti, ule mpaka wa Vihiga na Siaya. Inawezekanaje kwamba wakati huu wote tunajua kwamba watu wanauawa na mili yao kupatikana katika mpaka wa Siaya na Vihiga? Hakuna hata uwezekano kwamba tuweke patrol za polisi katika mpaka huo, kwamba kila wakati mili inapatikana katika mto ulioko kwenye mpaka huo, kila siku tunapata mili katika huo mto. Itawezekanaje kwamba jeshi la polisi haliwezi kuchukua hatua kwamba maeneo ambayo yanajulikana wazi kama Matimbo na maeneo mengine ambayo mili ni kawaida kupatikana, kwa nini kusiwe na ile surveillance ya kutosha kuhakikisha kwamba mambo haya hayaendelei? Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Speaker, mimi nitazidi kuongeza sauti yangu kwa ajili ya haki kupatikana kwa hizi familia, kwa sababu nilivyosema hapa mchana Mheshimiwa, nilipokwenda kule katika makafani ya City, ile mili hali yao ungeona mwenyewe Mheshimiwa Speaker, mwili wa dhahabu na mwanawe ulikuwa katika hali mbaya sana, kwa maanisha kwamba walipitia kifo ambacho kilikuwa ni kifo cha uchungu sana. Hata zile ripoti ambazo tumepata kuhusu mwili ulivyo ule wa ndugu wetu Willis, unamaanisha kwamba alipitia mambo magumu sana kabla ya yeye kuaga dunia. Na swala ambalo tunajiuliza ni kwamba kwa sababu operesheni kama hiyo inachukua muda sana, inawezekanaje kwamba umweke mtu mahali kwa wakati huo wote? Unamkata mtu kama kuku ama kama kumchinja.
Give him 1 minute to finish the sentence.
Yote hata chifu ama watu wa nyumba 10, hata ile local security arrangements ambao wanaweza kupata kujua kwamba kuna tukio fulani linatendeka. Hata hapa Nairobi, Mheshimiwa Speaker, nikasema tulikuwa na wakati ambapo tulizundua mfumo wa CCTV, zile kamera za kunasa matukio katika jiji letu. Nikamuuliza huyu Douglas Kanja, akaniambia ni 60% pekee ya jiji la Nairobi ambalo lina hizi kamera za CCTV. Kwa nini isiwe 100%? Kwa sababu tuliambiwa kwamba mfumo huo wa CCTV ulikuwa umeimarishwa hapa jijini. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka nimalize kwa kutoa pole zangu kwa familia hizi zote ambazo zimeathirika, na kwamba kuahidi na kutoa hapa ahadi kwamba for as long as tuna sauti sisi kama viongozi, tutazidi kutumia sauti zetu kuhakikisha kwamba haki inatendeka na wale ambao wamehusika wanaletwa mbele ya sheria. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Senator Cherarike, Senator for Nandi County. I do
Thank
not
you.
want to say you have heard the cry of your colleagues. Can reduce by 1 minute.
I didn't hear their cry. I rarely listen to such cries. Madam Speaker, let me just make 4 points, but I'll be sensitive. So, Speaker, let me just make 4 points. One is that femicide, I've just looked up at the definition. It means somebody being killed on the account of their gender, especially by man. That's what defined. Madam Speaker, secondly, it's sad that from 2016 up to date, more than 500 women have been killed through femicide. In fact, this year alone, Madam Speaker, 34 cases of femicide have been reported up to yesterday. Only in January this year, Madam Speaker, 10 women were killed. And most of these victims, Madam Speaker, are women in their 20s and 30s. I was discussing with another psychologist, was telling me because of societal pressures, some of these young women are in abusive relationship. Something like intimate partner violence, IPV, which is common among people in relationship, people who are in marriage, Madam Speaker, that is spousal, where it is bordering to gender-based violence, Madam Speaker. So this issue of femicide is a serious issue. It is happening even in relationship in campuses, and it is sad that women of 20 to 30 years are the biggest victims, who should be their productive, essentially, Madam Speaker. So this IPV, intimate partner violence, is a serious issue that defines the femicide in this country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in 2023 alone, there were 152 killings against women, and these victims were, it's gender-based, Madam Speaker, and I think I want to ask the DCI, Mr. Amin, you know, when an issue becomes an issue of national concern, they should form a special unit to address the issue of femicide cases, as the President declares it a national disaster. I want to join many colleagues who have said this should be a national disaster. Let the DCI form a special unit that can handle femicide. Madam Speaker, when you walk to most of the police stations, there are no even gender reporting desks, a few, only in county headquarters. We want them as lowest as divisional police headquarters so that such issues can be reported, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and the stigma that comes with it, the society also must be on lookout and ask young girls and women not to be comfortable in the relationship with the men they don't trust. I know trust is one of the expensive currency in relationship. To ask them to be careful, to weigh, Madam Speaker, so that they are not, because of societal pressures. You have heard Senator Abbas talking about it, Madam Speaker, that most of these things are happening online dating apps, Madam Speaker, where young women go on those online, Madam Speaker. They have a right to associate whoever they want to, but at least they need to be just careful. I remember the former President Uhuru Kenyatta used to say security starts with you. So we want also, as we call the police, because we cannot get the police to police everybody, Madam Speaker. But I think also as a society we need to be very careful and ask young men and women to avoid toxic relationships that might lead to IPVs and femicide, Madam Speaker. Finally, Madam Speaker, I want also to speak on behalf. We have lost so many athletes, Madam Speaker. We lost Agnes Tirop from my village through gender-based violence that she was killed in Iten. The investigation is still ongoing. We want to ask the judiciary to speed up such cases. We have lost, the most recent was Ugandan athlete by the name Rebecca Cheptegei, who is the marathoner. Madam Speaker, very tragic. She was buried the other day. We did lose Damaris Mutua also, Madam Speaker, and we just lost Samson Kandie, one of the famous marathoners. And one of the suspects, Madam Speaker, coincidentally is the wife. So, Madam Speaker, while women are being affected by this issue, men, so even in athletes and sports world, Madam Speaker, we are losing so many female athletes. And most of the perpetrators are partners, are husbands, are boyfriends, are people close to them. I think as a society, I want to call upon religious organizations, the Muslim, the Christian, the Hindu. I'm told the Hindu one and only day, Madam Speaker. Let them be at the forefront to fight this vice going into the future, Madam Speaker. So I want to thank Senator Eddie. I've heard him talking about extrajudicial killing and forced disappearance and abductions. That's a very serious concern. I hope the House, when I want to inform Eddie, Madam Speaker, in closing, when I was once the powerful chairperson of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, we investigated such instances, and the report is available for your perusal. I support this motion, and I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mazayo Stewart Mwachiru, Kilifi County Senator.
Asante, Speaker. Speaker. Asante Speaker. Speaker, kitu cha kwanza nataka kutoa rambirambi zangu vile vile kwa familia, jamii na marafiki wote wa hizi familia ambazo zimepatikana na kuathirika kwa wapendwa wao kuuawa, hali ya kinyama, hali ya sintofahamu. Speaker, cha kwanza ni kwamba pia vile vile nataka kumpatia heko ndugu yangu Eddie. Huyu mdogo wangu Eddie ameweza kuleta taarifa hii ambayo inaweza imeleta msisimko mpya ndani ya hili bunge la Senate, kuona kwamba Wakenya wanaweza kuuawa kiholela holela bila sheria ama bila kwa njia ile ambayo sio kuuawa kwa njia, lakini bila hatua yoyote kuchukuliwa na polisi. Speaker, tunaona ya kwamba kitu cha kwanza ambacho nilikuwa nataka kuweza tafakari vizuri ni kwamba hususan kuua watoto wadogo, tena watoto wa kike, watu ambao hawawezi hata kupigana ama kujiregeshea ngumi ama kusukuma mtu. Wewe unaenda unapata watoto wa kike wameketi mahali ama wameketi kwao nyumbani ama wako barabarani, alafu mnawashika kwa nguvu, mnawaingiza ndani ya gari ama mnawadanganya, mnaenda nao mahali fulani, alafu hapo panapatikana na vifo. Speaker, ni jambo la uchungu kuona kwamba watoto ambao hawawezi hata kujitetea wanapatikana katika hali hiyo. Na zaidi kitu cha kukemewa zaidi, Speaker, ni kwamba watoto hao wanapatikana sehemu zao za nyeti haziko, macho hayako, matiti hayako. Speaker, ni hali ya kinyama namna gani kwamba Mkenya, hata kama wewe ni jangili ama kama wewe ni muuaji namna gani, unaweza kukata mama ambaye hawezi kujisaidia, unamkata matiti, unamkata sehemu zake za nyeti. Wewe ni binadamu wa namna gani? Speaker, tunasema kitendo kama hichi ni cha kukemewa na Wakenya wote. Na kitu cha kushangaza ni kwamba sisi tuna watu ambao wanapelekwa skuli kiganjo, wamesomea, ni mapolisi, wanalinda amani, wanalinda haki za watu, na wanalinda pia mali na uhai pia. Katika katiba inasema kwamba uhai wa kila Mkenya utakuwa, serikali itaangalia uhai huo. Hawa mapolisi nataka kuuliza wako wapi? Tunaona sasa ile wakitaka kumpiga mimi tear gas na Edwin Sifuna. Tunaona sasa zile wakianza kutuonyesha sehemu zetu za siri kwa magazeti. Hawana maana, ashindwe kabisa. Speaker, ni jambo la kusikitisha na si jambo la kucheka. Ukiona kama mtu kama Willis alikuwa anafanya Wells Fargo, amefanya ndio Sifuna anasema amebeba, sikuona mimi, lakini nasema tu ya kwamba ni jambo la kusikitisha hivi leo, ikiwa mtu mzima kama yule aliyekuwa hana ubaya na mtu anaweza kupoteza maisha yake kiholela namna ile, na alafu anatolewa macho. Surely hata kama ni uhalifu, lakini sio kufika huko. Kitu cha mwisho ambayo nataka kusema ni kwamba huyu jenerali ambaye tumemchagua hivi sasa, General Kanja, nataka kumwambia aamke kutoka kwa huo usingizi na aamrisha askari wake na wafike kila mahali, na hata vitengo vingine pia vya uchunguzi vitengo vya kufanya kuona kama ujasusi utatendeka mahali fulani, wao wanafika mara moja na kueleza watu kwamba kuna kitu kama hichi kitatendeka, na alafu hatua itachukuliwa. Speaker, tunakemea sana. Nataka kusema kwamba hatua kali lazima ichukuliwe, na taarifa hii iliyoletwa na huyu ndugu yangu Eddie tuichukulie hatua ya juu sana. Asante Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Senator Olekina Ledama, Narok County Senator.
Madam Speaker, in the 21st century, it's sad that we're discussing about femicide. This is a time when we should be talking about equality, not even a matter of equity, because women in our society contributes and they play a critical role in the development of our culture, development of our society. But it is sad, and this is a matter that we cannot take lightly. Madam Speaker, let me begin by thanking the distinguished senator from Migori for causing this House to go on to adjourn to be able to discuss this matter of critical national concern. It is sad when we turn on our television stations and when we are watching news, you are being told that a young girl was kidnapped, a young girl was killed, a mother and two of her daughters were killed, bodies were spread across 2 counties. It begs the question of whether we really have a criminal justice system in this country. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about the issues of femicides, others might argue that it is a systemic gender-based discrimination, that it is in the system, systemic. You know, that is, some people consider it, you know, sort of like heroic to be able to discriminate or to be able to hurt women. It is barbaric, to say the least. There's nothing heroic in you who you know that you cannot control your destiny, to be able to turn your guns and you kill someone who cannot be able to defend themselves. Madam Speaker, this House must stand very firm for the lives of those young girls who were killed, the young Somali women who were killed in Nairobi County, for the young girl who was killed who was a taxi driver, who was killed in Mombasa County, and even for the young girl who was killed in Kiambu County, and various other areas. It is wrong, Madam Speaker, and we must say it as it is, that it is wrong and it is barbaric. And we have to ask ourselves whether, as a country, we have laws to be able to protect our young women, who in most cases cannot speak for themselves. We are elected, we are here not because of a right. It's a, we are given an opportunity to be able to come and represent our people. We pass laws, so the first question to ask is this: does this country called Kenya have laws to be able to protect women? And today, Madam Speaker, when I stand here, I want to argue that this issue of femicide, of dealing with the issue of femicide, is a multi-agency approach. We find NGOs talking about protection of women. We find government institutions talking about protection of women, of our girls. I'm a father of girls. God has blessed me with 2 beautiful girls, and maybe more to come. I want to be able to know that as long as God gives me an opportunity to breathe this free air, that I will be able to be counted as one of those people who have protected their daughters. So as I stand here, it is important for me to analyze and to be able to critique our criminal justice system, to be able to critique our legislative journey, to see whether it is Parliament or is it the executive which is failing. And the only thing that I can say is that we've got laws to protect our women. We've got laws to protect our young women from domestic violence. The challenge, Madam Speaker, is implementation is wanting. You know, sometimes because of our cultural norms, it is easy to say it's okay, let's just deal with it. But I think it's about time that now we put our priorities right. we must ensure that our criminal justice system, our law and order, protect these young girls. And the only way that Kenyans can be convinced that, yes, indeed, we are determined, not only as a house that makes laws, but also as the executive that implement those laws, is by making sure that those people who killed these young girls, are arrested, and justice must be given to those families. Madam Speaker, I hear, and I hope that you'll give me some more time, because I'm the last speaker and we end at 6:30. I've listened to my colleague, Senator Sifuna, and Senator Sifuna has alluded to the fact that we spend billions of shillings to be able to secure our urban centers. We've got CCTV cameras all over. Madam Speaker, we know that Nairobi County was not able to deliver that function. So under Article 187 of the Constitution, they had a collaboration with the national government. And there was a creation of something called NMS. And there was a command center. It is time for us to follow up and say, that command center, what is it for? Or is it one of those incidences where a command center comes, people come in there, put CCTV all over, create a command center, and you don't pay them bills, so they end up sabotaging it? Because if that command center is there, then by all means, we should be able to, the IG should be able to sit there and arrest or follow those people who killed these young girls, and they are running amok across 2 counties, Machakos and Nairobi, dispersing different parts of the bodies. So we need to ask those questions. This is so painful, Madam Speaker, that we must push forward. And I thank Senator Eddy for causing this House, and I hope that our distinguished members of this House, all of them would have been here because of the weight of this matter. But I want Kenyans to know out there that we will not relent until we get to the bottom of this issue. We need to make sure that our girls are protected. Madam Speaker, one of my biggest pet peeves is that some people think that they'll breathe this air for centuries and centuries and generations. We're just a passing cloud. Our time will come and will go. We cannot sit here. I will not sit here knowing that I'm a father of 2 beautiful young girls, and when other women and young girls are being kidnapped out there and being attacked, I cannot speak for them. Who will speak for them, Madam Speaker? So there are 3 things, Madam Speaker, that I want to summarize my argument on.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
Madam Speaker, thank you for the 2 minutes. One, I want to reiterate that this is a multifaceted issue that requires a concerted effort from the government, civil society, and communities to address it. Let's talk about, Nyumba Kumi. Let's talk about our implementing arm of the government, our criminal justice system. The IG, I have a lot of confidence in the IG. I want to request you to be able to take this matter seriously. Those 3 young girls or women who were killed in Isili, we need justice for them, Madam Speaker. That young girl, the taxi driver who was killed in Mombasa, we need justice for them. And going forward, we want you to call a press conference and tell us these are the measures that you put in place to protect the girl child, to protect women in our society. There's no way we're going to go without women in our society, Madam Speaker. You are who you are, Madam Speaker, because somebody protected you. Somebody cared for you. If we do not care about our young girls, then if no human being can judge us, Almighty God will judge us and say, you're worthless, you're useless. Even Satan will not want our bodies to burn in hell. I'm being very honest, Madam Speaker, because if you cannot protect your young girl, a vulnerable person in society, then who are you? I really want to encourage my colleagues that next time when we're talking about this, all of you must be seated down here to be able to address those challenges. But look at it. I mean, seriously, look at this House. Very few people are here. Is it that only Senator Sifuna, Senator Hamida, Senator Eddy, the senator from Wajir, I also had one other senator. Alikuwa nani? Cherargei. Is it the senator from Turkana? Is it my dear sister? Senator Mundet, who only cares about women here? All of us, it behooves us to be able to protect our girls. You know, so Madam Speaker, let me not proceed further because this is very emotional. It's an emotive issue. But I hope that the IG will take it very seriously and make sure that we protect our girls. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. It truly is an emotive issue to be taken very seriously by everybody, including Nyumba Kumi. Honorable Senators, it's now 6:32, and having concluded the business for which I extended the hours of sitting pursuant to Standing Order 34-2A, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 31st October 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.